Welcome to the Air Canada Centre in downtown Toronto. Andy McNamara alongside Brian Shanahan and Steven Stamp as we get set for the Calgary Roughnecks. 4-6, currently tied for last in the West Division. Gets the Toronto Rock, second in the East. Shandy, let's start with the Calgary Roughnecks. A lot of firepower, but underwhelming this year.
Yeah, I think that's a good word for it. Well, let's see which team shows up for Calgary, because last week they surprised everybody. After getting beat badly in Colorado, they came back to demolish the Georgia Swarm. Sure. And that's the kind of team I thought they would be. It's remarkable with the talent they have with guys like Curtis Dixon, Dane Doby, Digby, that they are in the middle of the pack offensively, and they should not be there. They've got so much scoring talent up front. Jeff Shatler as well, Wesley Berg. This team should be fighting for first or second place. I don't believe they should be fighting for the last playoff spot. And it could be. I picked Toronto to win this game, but I'm a little worried about that pick because I think Calgary's got a very good team, and last week we got the first taste of it.
Stamper for Toronto, I think as long as they don't go to overtime, things might be okay.
They might be. That has not treated them well. But I think the big thing for Toronto, going into the season, Jamie Dawick and his group said, we were 5-13. We're not going to come in, expect to go 18-0 or anything.
Sure.
And when they were 5-1, people maybe got a little too excited and thought, oh my goodness, they're so good. And now they lose 2 games. All of a sudden, everyone's like, oh my goodness, they're in the hunt for the playoffs. They're coming back. Well, they lost in overtime. They had 1 bad game. Every team in the league has had bad games this year. It's not a big deal. They are staying the course, going ahead. They get Casey Byrnes back tonight with Turner Evans out. That's kind of a wash in points. They both score 3.5 points a game. Byrnes should get the experience. I think the defense has been the key for this team the whole year, and it's no single player. It's a unit. They've been playing great as a team. That's what they have to keep doing, and that's what you have to do against a Calgary offense, like Shanny said, that can be super explosive.
So stay tuned. Roughnecks versus Rock on NLLTV.com. Side fortune, Brody Merrill. The catch that turns on the jet. 2-on-2. Merrill, like doing himself, he does, and scores! Scores! That was through all sorts of traffic. It's Poundman in the turn. Right on!
Fans joining the Rock on the floor tonight for the pregame, please welcome the Brampton Excelsiors. And representing Colin Doyle's University lacrosse career, please welcome our fan tunnel group from Laurier Athletics, the men's and women's Laurier Golden Hawks lacrosse teams. And now it's time to get loud and get on your feet for your Toronto Rock! Starting with the goaltenders, number 35, Brandon Miller. Number 66, Rosie Nick Rose. Number 4, Jesse Gamble. Number 5, Sandy Chapman. Number 6, Kieran McCardle. Number 11, Brett Hickey. Number 17, Stefan LeBlanc. Number 20, Bradley Cree. Number 22, Phil Caputo. Number 23, Challen Rogers. Number 26, Tom Schreiber. Number 33, welcome back, Boom Boom, Casey Beers. The captain, number 37, Brody Merrill. Number 44, Jeff Gilbert. Number 45, Damon Edwards. Number 82, Jordan Magnuson. Number 91, Billy Hostrouser. Number 93, Latrell Harris. And number 97, Sawyer, assisted by Blaine Manning, Bruce Codd, and Patty Campbell.
Okay, fans, good evening and welcome to a landmark occasion in the history of the Toronto Rock. My name is Scott Fox. I am honored to be here as we pay tribute in this special ceremony to honor one of the all-time greats of this game in this city. My captain, our captain, your captain, number 7, Colin Doyle. To begin the proceedings tonight, everybody, please welcome Toronto Rock owner, president, and general manager, Jamie Dowick.
Thanks, Scott. You know, it's a big night when I got a suit on and I didn't bring a change of clothes, so you know that. Colin, let me start by welcoming you, Stacy, Brooklyn, London, Lila. I know your mom and dad are in the building. The fans, colleagues, friends. This truly is a historic night. Putting someone's jersey to hang from the rafters, to me, is the ultimate honor. It's not something I take very lightly. It's not easy to do. But this one, much like the first jersey to go up there, was an absolute no-brainer. I didn't lose any sleep over trying to figure this one out. So we're all here tonight for you, Colin. And I wish the big guy was here with me because he was always one of your biggest fans. You truly have done it all. The ultimate professional, the best clutch goal scorer of all time, and for me, the greatest to ever play the game. And there will never be another Colin Doyle. You're a one-of-a-kind guy. Your legacy with the Toronto Rock was well on its way before I came around. I like to think I just came in and helped let you put the storybook ending to one hell of a career in Toronto. And that's exactly what you did. From the moment you walked into the ILA back in late 2009, you set the tone right away, did what great players and great leaders do, and helped lead this proud franchise back to where it needed to be. Back on top, year after year, competing for championships. That's what it's all about. And anyone who's involved in sports knows it takes more than great players to win, great leaders, great people, team first guys. That was you. You need your best players to be your best people, and you were that. One of my favorite T quotes, and believe me, there was a few, but he always used to say to me, give me 18 team guys over one me guy and we'll be just fine. And anytime I think of that quote, I think of you, because that was you, and that's why you were his captain. So I could go on and on. A lot of memories. First trip back to the finals in 2010, winning the cup in 2011, first time as the captain. The one thing that speaks volumes about what you were, Colin, to me is that first time you were the captain of this team and we won the championship. I don't know if everyone knows this, but you sent Woodsy and Bjornsey up there to get the cup before you went up there to grab it. And to me, that speaks volumes of what you are and what you're about, and another reason why we're here tonight. All those things aside, we got to get to some stats here. All-time Rock leader, games played 218, 440 goals, 664 assists, 1,104 points as a member of the Toronto Rock. Six-time NLL champion, three-time NLL championship game MVP, 1998 Rookie of the Year. Latrell, you weren't even born then, were you? Toronto Rock captain from 2010 to 2016, 7 seasons. Played with the Rock from 99 to 2006, and then again from 2010 to 2016. What else can I say? Colin, tonight's for you. We're going to raise your jersey to the rafters to join your good buddy Whip. Only 2 players in franchise history to have 6 championships, have their jersey retired, and 2 of the best representatives of the Toronto Rock I could ever ask for. Before I turn it over to the video here, where we can all watch a video and then we'll bring the banner out, I struggled a lot with what I wanted to do for you guys for tonight, and I left this one pretty well on my own, didn't think much about it, but what I'm going to do, we got Whip a watch, and we did get you a watch when you hit 1,000 points, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you and your wife and your family away on a 1-week cruise on the Toronto Rock. Give back to them for all the sacrifices they've made for you over the 19 years, and let you guys truly enjoy that. So everyone, please pay attention to the video. Thank you.
Looking for Doyle. Scores! He turns it. Doyle from outside scores! Here's Doyle. Shot scores! Colin Doyle with 2.8 seconds left.
was a game. The intensity level was always ratcheted right up to the top. He played with an edge, as you have to in this sport.
He was a real groundbreaker for our sport. He made the Rock what it is today.
You could feel the energy in the room lift up when he got on the floor. It was the first step on the floor is, oh, Colin's on the floor.
2 slash, 3 slash, and Doyle to the goal.
You could always find a goal or a great pass, a great assist.
This is Doyle. Has 4. Shoots. He scores! The left sideline. Doyle rears back, scores! Number 500.
Now here's Sanderson. Sanderson, nice pass to Doyle. He shoots and scores.
You know, he loves to win, but he just hated to lose, and that always stuck with me.
Those big goals were him wanting to win, and his desire to win.
Those who have had their number retired in this city are part of a very elite club. If you look up, there are many banners of the members of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and of course the banner of goaltender Bob Watson, all emblematic of their membership in this elite club. So tonight, to help welcome Colin Doyle into that elite club is one of the members whose banner also hangs here tonight at Air Canada Centre. Please welcome former Maple Leafs captain Wendell Clark, accompanied by Jamie Dawick. At this time, I would like to welcome and introduce Colin's family, his wife Stacy, and his 3 beautiful daughters, Brooklyn, London, and Lila. We have something special for you, presented by Sandy Chapman, Casey Behrens, Brody Merrill, and Stephen LeBlanc. Okay, fans, now it's time to hear from the man himself. I'm going to ask all of you to get on your feet and please welcome number 7, Colin Doyle.
Man, have I missed that. Thank you. I'm incredibly honored to be here tonight. This has brought back some incredible memories. If you can bear with me for a few minutes, I'd love to say thank you to some people. First and foremost, Jamie, thank you so much for doing this. This is the greatest honor that I can imagine. Thank you. I'm honored. You've done a lot of great things for this game and for myself, and I'm forever grateful, so thank you so much. I know my girls thank you too. You know, to the past ownership group, Brad and Bill Waters and Bill Smith that started this thing many years ago, we've had a chance to reminisce. Thank you. There were some incredibly good years, so I appreciate everything you've done for me. You know, I look out in front of me here at the guys in line, and it wasn't too long ago I was doing that, but geez, I was watching warm-ups. I'm sure glad I made the decision I did. These guys are big and strong. But it leads me to, you know, this banner that's got my name on it. I've shared in so many incredible teammates over the years, and I think it's important that they all get recognized as a part of this. I'd like to take two of them in particular. One of them who's already up there in the stands, Bobby Watson. It's an incredible honor. I don't know where you're at, Bobby, but you taught me a lot and helped me become who I am today, and I'm forever grateful. Danny Stroop is the other one I'd like to make time for. Stroop, two good guys, great teammates that helped mold me, and I am grateful. I'm going to miss being a teammate. I'm going to enjoy being a fan and watching this team win championships to come. I've had some incredible coaches, all of whom I'm grateful for, three of whom are no longer with us. I miss them every day again. They helped me become the person I am today, and for Chris Hall, Terry Sanderson, and Les Bartley, I miss you guys. Thank you. For a lot of you guys, a lot of the fans that don't know, there's an incredibly good group that's behind that bench and that's been behind that bench for as long as I've been here. To the doctors and Dave Murray and Tim Large and Terry Rayner and Q, I couldn't do this forever without you, and it's important that these people know that. Thank you for all you've done for me. There's a special group of family and friends here that have been so supportive of me throughout my whole life. As we all know, you need great support. My mom and dad, great family and great friends that have always supported me, and even when I was wrong, told me that it was all right and helped me fix my mistakes, which I've made a lot of. So wherever you're sitting, I'm thankful for all you've done, and I appreciate it. Thank you. Lastly, and well, second last, I guess, I've got a family to thank here too. But maybe as important is you, the fans. What an incredible experience that I have had the chance to live through, and it's only because you come to this place to watch us play. We've lived through 6 championships, an incredible amount of highs, a couple of lows. I used to grind waiting for Fridays and Saturdays so I could run through that tunnel and play this game in front of all of you. There aren't enough words that can tell you how happy I am to have had that experience. I'm going to miss it, and I'm going to be there with you when this team brings us our next championship. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, fans. I've appreciated each and every one of you. Thank you so very much. Lastly, my beautiful wife and 3 beautiful kids that have been very, very big part of this. Don't encourage her. I love you. Stacy, I love you. Brooklyn, I love you. Lila, and I love you, London. You're the best. Thank you so much. I want to end this thing with something I'm going to try to get out of my mouth properly. I hope I nail it. Something I've been thinking of for a little while. In a lot of these situations, you hear people in my spot say, you know, never in my wildest dreams could have I imagined this. But for me, in all of my wildest dreams, this is everything I imagined. And I was able to fulfill it. And I think it's important for all the young kids out there, dream big, because you never know what could happen. This is an incredible honor. Thank you all so much.
Okay, fans. With the raising of this banner, Colin Doyle is now going to join his longtime friend and teammate, Bob Watson, in the rafters here at Air Canada Centre, cementing the legacy of number 7 for the Toronto Rock. Let's raise that banner. Time, please welcome tonight's opponents, the Calgary Roughnecks. Fans, please rise, remove your hats, and welcome the Rock's own Scotty Newlands for the singing of our national anthem.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true North strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
At this time, can we please have Calgary captain
Colin Doyle's
fans,
first year,
one more
1998,
time for
with the Ontario
number
Raiders.
7,
Latrell Harris was born 1998. So some
That's
of these guys on the Rock grew up watching him. I think it was Steph LeBlanc was quoted saying that he used to ride the train into Toronto to watch the Toronto Rock with Colin Doyle. And then they became teammates for 6 years.
Which is incredible.
I played with the Ontario Raiders the first year with Colin Doyle as a rookie of the year, and that first game that he played, he wasn't even supposed to play.
Really?
He was going to be a healthy scratch, and somebody didn't make it because of a flight problem. It was Chris Gill, actually, and Doyle, they put him in, scored 5 goals. Right? Never looked back.
Just imagine. Imagine if he didn't play that game. Who knows?
The funny thing is, he found out later that he was supposed to be scratched, and he was so angry about it.
Wow, you have a look there at the goaltenders.
What
Nick
a
Rose,
career.
still the best goals against average in the NLL at 9.39, now second in save percentage. And Frankie Chiliano, up and down season for the Calgary Roughnecks. So much firepower up front. Chiliano missed the first bit of the season, came in. And Shannon, you said in the pregame, I think best, this is a team that should be on paper fighting for top spot, not tied with the Vancouver Stealth for third.
They lost their first, won 3 in a row, lost 5 in a row.
Yeah.
And now they beat Georgia, the best team in the league last week, and they beat them. They beat them pretty good. 18-11 was the final score, and that was after Georgia went on a bit of a run to make it a little more respectable. They dominated that game.
Well, action underway here. There is a game to be played despite that fantastic presentation. Toronto Rock with possession here. Blue, red, and white uniform. Schreiber's ball gets redirected. Calgary Roughnecks in white, black, and red. Big game for both of these teams as Calgary picks up the loose ball and hustle down the floor. Trying to catch on transition here. And getting hacked. You have Mitch Wild.
Mitch Wild just came over from Buffalo a few weeks ago to trade. And
that's right.
I think he's a big addition on defense. They've also got Greg Harnett back in the lineup after a 5-game suspension.
There's Doby. Watch out, of course, for Curtis Dixon, league leader in goals at 30. And he just dumps it there as the shot clock hits 0. For the Rock at 5-4, trying to separate themselves from that clump in the East Division. You have the Black Wolves, Bandits, and Rochester all with 4 wins. For the Roughnecks, a win here tonight can get them right back into the conversation in the West Division.
All right, right now Calgary's tied with Vancouver for the last playoff spot, and they've lost twice to Vancouver this year.
That's right, so they got to pick it up. Tom Schreiber, shot high. Chiliano with a huge save. Line drive, outlet pass, finds McRae. And McRae with the one touch, too high, just too high for Tyson Bell. Would have been a great scoring opportunity, was a 2-on-1.
Tyson Bell, the second-year defender for Calgary, his first cousins with Latrell Harris, the rookie on Toronto, both out of St. Catharines.
Right, you mentioned Latrell Harris, he's 18, he'll be 19 2 days before the Rock's next game next Friday, which we'll have for you on NLL TV. St. Paddy's Day edition. Schreiber in the neutral zone. Pass too high. Rock looking a little sloppy. Actually, both teams on the passing front here.
Yeah, the passes are not connecting for both teams right now.
For the Rock, you have Casey Byrnes back, and that is huge for Toronto. He has that great one-touch power, and there's a few times last week you thought, boy, if Byrnes was in there, probably would have converted.
Yeah, we've said it many times. He doesn't need to handle the ball a lot to be a factor.
Whoa, and they did not handle the ball long at all. There was Riley Lowen. Nice opportunity, spinning around. Whoa, big hit.
Speaking about Latrell Harris.
Oh, boy. Rock bring it up the floor here. See Brody Merrill gets rid of it. So you have Turner Evans, who is on the injured reserve first level. So he will miss some time. Line drive shot by Stephen LeBlanc. Back, and it's a turnover. Rumbling up the floor here. Carnegie right on, and a big save by Nick Rose.
You know, watching Calgary come out in that transition, we spoke to Coach Bob McMahon, the assistant coach, and he said that's been a big problem with this team this year. Said last year they had 37 transition goals at this time of the year. I think he said it was down to like less than 10.
Yeah.
So far this year at this point.
And getting Greg Arnett back is going to help a lot in that in the grit department, and can move the ball as well. So we'll see what effect
they've really missed Carson Leong, who's probably their best transition player last year. He's been out on the IR all year this season.
Some pushing and shoving. A great rivalry between these two clubs for playing each other so few times. You had that relation with coaches and players kind of going back and forth a few years back, and it's really carried over. Dobie on the goal line, throws to the left wing. And Digby making a move. There's Dobie, receives on the right side. And Challen Rogers fell to the ground. It will be a Rock possession, as you have Rogers here. Only one shot apiece early on. Here's Hickey. Hickey puts your shoulder down. Back to the point. Schreiber leads the Rock in points. The rookie. Sidearm whip right on. And, Shirleyano went down to a knee.
You know, when you talk about the offense on this team, you got to talk about this guy with the ball in his stick, Curtis Dixon.
Yeah.
He is the best one-on-one player in the NLL, and I don't think he'll get any argument with anybody on that one.
No, they call him Superman. And Shatler.
He scores in bunches, too.
Oh, he does, yeah. And in the back to Rose sliding over. What a stop by on Riley Lowen, Nick Rose. That was a Casey Byrnes-like offering there, all alone. And the Roughnecks getting in behind the Rock defense. Magnuson drops it. Now Phil Caputo, 6'3", big body, let it rip. Far side, top corner, and it sails into the Platinums here at the Air Canada Centre.
Didn't miss by much, though.
No.
Last time these two teams met earlier this season in Calgary, 11-7 for the Toronto Rock. It was actually 10-4 at one point in the fourth quarter when Dixon went on one of his runs to score 3 in a row to make it 10-7, but the Rock hung on for an 11-7 win.
And you said it, Shannon, he's not just dangerous, he can score in bunches. Like once he gets that one, the floodgates open. And a great stop there by Bradley Cree, an interception. And Cree up, tries to feed Harris, bobbles it in the stick. Had to step outside the crease, got a foot in there anyway. Tried to keep it out. And only 2 shots apiece, no score. 9:40 left in the first quarter. We'll step aside. You're watching the NLL on NLL TV.
Brought to you in part by Sports Interaction, Canada's home for worldwide sports betting. Bet responsibly at sportsinteraction.com. Disclaimer, only residents of Canada may open an account with Sports Interaction. The service is not available to users outside of Canada.
He's got Digby on the take, scores!
Now back over to Dane Smith with a shot. Hit the goal post inside, he scores!
Afraid you might miss out on the big stories from your favorite team? Well, not to fear, the NLL newsletter is here. All you have to do is subscribe to the new NLL newsletter, and you'll get weekly updates from everything that is happening around the league. What are you waiting for? Subscribe today.
Action back underway here at the Air Canada Centre in Toronto. No score. 9:30 left in the first quarter. Andy McNamara alongside Brian Shanahan to Dobie from Curtis Dixon. That pass redirected. And both clubs' defenses have been pulling out all the stops early on. Great redirection, getting bodies in the way. Dobie tries to set for Wesley Berg, and that just missed on the glove side.
Very nice play by the second-year player Wesley Berg to beat his defender.
And the Rock, whoa, Billy Hostrauser took a hit. You know, he'll take the number down. He got cranked there, I believe, by Tyson Bell, yeah. Tom Schreiber on the left wing. Now puts it over to Reed Reinhold. He had a nice goal last week. And Calgary, full sprint now. Trying to get it done on transition. As you said, Carson Leung's been part of the reason why they've struggled in that area, but they look to be making it more of a focus early on, Channing.
Yeah, and coaching staff felt that having Greg Harnett back helps a lot too.
Curtis Dixon. Oh, went for the one. And you said it, Channing. One of the best one-on-one players. You see the footwork and the stick work there to get a quality scoring chance. Behind the back shot as the shot clock hits 0. Rock ball.
You know, it's funny because we asked, you know, how are you planning to try to stop them? And like most coaches would say the same thing, we're not planning to stop, we're trying to minimize them.
Right, make other players beat you. And through a screen, excellent opportunity for Phil Caputo. Didn't quite make it all the way through. Nick Rose comes out. Quick outlet pass. Down the right side for Toronto. Reinhold with a three-quarter delivery. Lots of power, but off the mark. Schreiber on the goal line. Trying to center up that sidearm whip. Scores! Captain America gives Toronto a 1-0 lead. A rocket from Schreiber.
It's been pretty quiet so far, as everyone had been, but he comes out of that corner. Nice shot on the run, finds the hole.
And just the nod saying that's right.
You know, and Schreiber has, you know, for all the points he's got a ton of them to start a game. There's been a number of games where he's got, you know, 4 or 5 points on the first 4 or 5 Toronto goals.
11th in the NLL in overall points. Lead the Rock now with 46 points and his 14th goal of 2017. Can't blame Frankie Ciliano on that.
He had 3 goals and 3 assists last time these two teams met.
Oh, and coming out is Ciliano, extra tacker on for the Roughnecks, so a penalty coming Toronto's way.
No, actually.
Maybe not.
I'm not sure what he was thinking there.
Yeah, Roughnecks maybe trying to get a little cute. In transition, a 3-on-2 for a moment. There's Damon Edwards, plays that foot, scores! Top shelf with a bullet. Damon Edwards.
This is just a nice shot. This is the shot that we've seen a few players take. I told you earlier, Caputo didn't miss by much. Edwards is shooting for that same corner Caputo tried for. This one is just right on. There's no room for error. He had a couple of inches to put it into, and it was there.
They're seeing something they like on Ciliano in that top corner. 6th goal of the year for Damon Edwards. Edwards 6'1", 185. So fast and underrated power on his shot. Unassisted goal to Edwards.
Now another interesting thing Coach McMahon told us.
Whoa, and Reinhold just ran into a white and black wall there and collapsed.
He said to us, Calgary wins when they get good starts, and they lose when they don't.
Well, there's still 6:30 to go in the first quarter. Lots of time.
Lots of time to go, and that's kind of like a strange stat. But he said when they get off to, I think, good starts, when they win the first quarter, they're 5-4.
And when the Rock lead after the first, they're 2-1 so far this season. Here come the Roughnecks. An illegal pick, so the Rock ball. And they're trying here. There's Rogers, Challen Rogers on the turnover, and they're going right back to that glove side corner.
They're definitely going to the glove side.
That time.
Well, I guess they're both glove side. Away from the stick.
Yes.
We're not talking hockey here.
Non-stick side.
Yes.
And they like it, going from the left over to the right, kind of that far angle. 2-0 Rock. There's Tom Schreiber. A little bit of space through a screen. Went right into the leg of Dan McQuarrie. That's going to leave a mark. And the ball goes 3 rows up behind Chiliano.
Off a Calgary player, so Toronto gets it back. Toronto is getting a lot of shots, but not a lot of shots on net.
Play whistled in. Schreiber on the left wing. You have Caputo setting up in the low post. Ooh,
there's a good battle in the middle of the floor.
Yeah, low skipper.
I think that's Tyson Bell is going pretty hard against a few Toronto players. But the Toronto players are going to the dirty areas. Caputo's out there taking a beating.
He's 6'3", 220. Schreiber trying to dance in, went for a one-hopper. And just too far from McCray. He would have had a clear path to Nick Rose, who comes out to field it. Gets it right to Damon Edwards. Shots 8-2 in favor of the Rock.
8-2, and that doesn't include about the 6 or 7 block shots from the Calgary players.
Yeah, you're right.
And they're feeling it.
Hickey feeds Bjorns. Haven't seen Bjorns much tonight so far. And he'll head to the bench after the turnover. And here come the Roughnecks. There's Carnegie. And Rose with the save. Whoa! And Calgary being very aggressive here, trying to knock the ball free of Scott Carnegie. And Toronto coming back the other way. Damon Edwards trying to center up. Chapman called for it, intercepted by Harnett. And now another turnover on the loose ball. Edwards going, and what a stop by Chiliano. That was on the stick hand. If you're keeping track. 4:30 to go in the first. 2-0 Toronto. Riley Lowen has had a nice start to this game. Lots of opportunities. Calgary trying to set up some picks. Some space for Shatler, a little bit. And Cree gets turned aside. Shoulder save by Rose, and Toronto comes away with it. There's Jesse Gamble.
And Calgary has not spent a lot of time on offense the last
Gamble
10 minutes.
Racing, and he feigned the shot and went for the pass. It was just too high to McCardle. Gamble comes down with it, got his own rebound as it rattled off the backboards. There's Hickey. To the weak side. Stephen LeBlanc went for a hopper. That looked redirected. Ricochets off the glass. Toronto keeps it again. The shot clock will go to 0, and they'll just dump it. Big outlet pass to Bell from Chiliano. Now the Roughnecks offense setting up. Curtis Dixon on the floor. Tries to set a pick for Doby. Doby here on the right side. And Chiliano's racing to the bench for the extra attacker.
This time there is a penalty coming.
There is a penalty, and he does go to the bench. So extra man on, and we'll see what the penalty is.
Sandy Chapman.
Well, he'll go. We'll step aside and figure everything out. 2-0 Rock up on Calgary. You're watching.
Scott Digby on the take, scores. Now back over to Dane Smith with a shot. Hit the goal post inside, he scores.
Afraid you might miss out on the big stories from your favorite team? Well, not to fear, the NLL newsletter is here. All you have to do is subscribe to the new NLL newsletter, and you'll get weekly updates from everything that is happening around the league. What are you waiting for? Subscribe today.
Action back underway here at the ACC. 3 minutes left and a save by Rose, as it was a bullet from Wesley Berg. 2-0 Toronto leads up on the Calgary Roughnecks. Andy McNamara alongside Brian Shanahan with you. Berg with the interception coming back the other way, trying to get Rose going from right to left. Quality shot by Doby. But Rose came back with it. And a long looping pass on the outlet, and it is whacked down by Doby. Have a neutral zone scrum, and Reinhold ends up with it. Very physical matchup. You said it, Shanny. Kind of in the middle, and just a lot of hacking and pushing. And Reinhold saw a lane he liked, and he went for it. Saw something opened up, and the shot was off.
Gave him way too much room.
But off the backboards now, it is Calgary's turn. Yeah, John Harnett thinking maybe he'd take a look. Decided better of it. Now Dane Doby. And you have Berg. Dixon with the pass. Schattler back to Dixon at the point. Whoa, that was a lot of oomph behind it. It was one. That would be an over and back Rock possession. 30 goals this season for Dixon as he leads the NLL.
Scored 61 goals last year.
Oh, man. $1:49 left in the first quarter. Shots 9-6 in favor of the home team. There's Stephen LeBlanc. We have a penalty.
Another penalty to Toronto Rock for slashing this one.
Now 29 seconds left on the minor to Sandy Chapman. So the Roughnecks.
Kieran McCardle.
Yeah. Let's see what the call is here. Slashing.
Bad penalty. I didn't see it, but you don't want to take a penalty in the offensive zone when your team has the ball. I bet it was some retaliation. Yes.
Right in front of the official,
Flashing.
too.
Time of the penalty.
Isn't that the way it always goes?
Yeah.
It's the retaliation that gets caught.
And 5-on-3. Rose! Squeeze those pads together. Loose ball scramble, and it's hacked back to Curtis Manning. It'll be a two-man advantage for 14 more seconds for Calgary as they press and pinch and wait. Over the top hurl. And Rose comes up with it again as the ball sails into the stands, but went off a Rock player. Calgary ball.
If Calgary can score a goal before the first penalty's over, they get to stay on the power play.
They have 6 seconds to try to do that. Rose took up all that net, made himself big. 1 second left, so now it's back to 5-on-4 as Sandy Chapman comes back onto the floor. Knocked down by Rogers. Nice defense by Challen Rogers. And Rose. It's a big blue wall right now. Last minute of play in the first, and the Rock coming back the other way on a shorthanded opportunity. Coming up, feeds LeBlanc, and Sandy Chapman tried to get it. Chapman scores! Sandy Chapman tiptoeing along that crease, off the rebound, and it's 3-0 Toronto shorthanded.
A 3-on-2 while shorthanded, and Chapman reaches into that crease to pick up the ball. That's legal. LeBlanc ran through the crease, but he was out of the crease by the time Chapman reached in to pick it up. This is a good goal. I doubt that the coaches will throw a flag watching the same thing we just saw, and they don't.
That is the third shorthanded goal for the Rock on the year. Calgary's power play allowing Toronto 2 of the extra man advantage on the lower end. Calgary ranks 7th, Toronto 8th. On the penalty kill, Toronto is 5th. 30 seconds to go. And the Rock now have 40 seconds left to kill, and they're going for more. It looks like Toronto's the one on the power play. Now Calgary try for one more opportunity to try to get on the scoreboard here.
Yeah,
Frankie
they'll look to get one more shot.
Yeah, Chiliano thought about going to the bench. Looks like he's going to stay put. 8 seconds. And that's Doby. Behind the back. That was a gorgeous pass, but ran out of real estate. Did Jeff Schattler. And the clock hits 0, and the Rock lead the Roughnecks 3-0. We'll step aside and come back for the second quarter. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on NLL TV.
Pro lacrosse teams are now fielded in Philadelphia, Boston, New York, Maryland, Montreal, and Quebec.
Yesterday there was friendly competition and not so friendly competition. We knew our true colors weren't just worn on our backs, they were painted on our faces and hoisted as high in the air as we could possibly carry them. Whatever it took to claim our turf. Yesterday we left it all out there. Blood, sweat, tears, you name it, we left it. We kept ourselves focused and we kept each other in check. And the only thing we took were epic shots. Yesterday we saw more twists and turns in 8 seconds than most people saw in an entire season. We lost the ball, lost our minds. We lost countless times in every game. If you could see the ball, that was a slow day. Yesterday, physics didn't apply to us. Gravity wasn't welcome in our box. Armed with just a stick and a ball, we took flight. Yesterday, we were the best we could be. Today is our day.
Three 0 after one quarter of play here at the Air Canada Centre. Andy McNamara alongside Brian Shanahan with you. Shanny, you have a point to make on Kieran McCardle and that retaliation penalty.
Yeah, and we talk about the learning curve for the Americans on the Toronto Rock that are just learning the game. And one of them is when you get a cheap shot given to you, you don't have to get vengeance right away.
Right.
And he didn't like what the defender did on him, and he turned and gave him a slash right in front of the referee. Toronto was short-handed. That made them 2 men short. Yeah, pick your time. You feel like giving it right back, but that's also part of the game, and he'll learn.
That comes with maturity.
He's improved every game we've seen him play.
Oh, absolutely. One half of the American experiment along with Tom Schreiber, and the penalty is over, so no harm done as he races to the bench. And Wesley Berg had a laser, and Calgary got it right back. Roughnecks. Whoa, and that went off a foot, and that went right up into the Reds here at the Air Canada.
We got another penalty for hold.
Oh, that was about 30 rows up.
Is this
Rogers?
Yeah, I think it's Challen Rogers. That's 3 penalties in a row for the Toronto Rock.
Holding the stick on Challen Rogers.
I was actually surprised late in that power play Calgary took that late shot. Most teams won't do that because they fear the guy coming out of the penalty box is going to get a breakaway if they miss. Usually they'll wait for the defender to come back in the play and then take the shot.
So Rogers, the big man, 6'4", 220. And so the Rock are shorthanded again. So the penalty-killing unit is being put to the test. The Roughnecks coming into this game converting on the power play at a 41.67 advantage, and that's going to up that percentage as they score and get on the board. Now it's 3-1, and it's going to go to guess who? Curtis Dixon.
Yeah, well, he's got a repertoire of shots, and he kind of does a little bit of a twister on this shot, which means he kind of changes his angle at the last second.
Now,
but if you take enough penalties, you're giving the other team enough shots.
Yeah.
Look at the shots now. We're 12-12. At one point, Toronto was up about 10-2, 10-3. But 3 power plays in a row, and you got to know eventually one of them is going to go in.
And if you give Curtis Dixon that many opportunities, now at the league leading 31st goal, and they're going for more right here. Oh, and they went on the far side. Tyson Bell right off of the face-off. And you can feel the momentum starting to shift a little bit. The Roughnecks extra step.
When we spoke to Toronto head coach Matt Sawyer, he says, one of the things they're really focusing on is don't allow quick goals, off face-offs, and they almost got caught on that right there.
Yeah, that's right. So 3-1 the score. Rock have a shorthanded goal. Roughnecks scored right there on the power play with Dixon and went for a quick one-touch. The defender was right there for Calgary. That was John Harnett. Calgary trying to set up 13 to shoot. To the right wing, still lots of time. Dobie sidesteps, gets hacked by Hostrauser. To Schattler. Feeds to the left wing. Wesley Berg is back 4 seconds. They had one more chance, and that was through a screen. Tyler Digby. A lot of velocity behind that sidearm.
That was a good shot around a screen. A very good save by Nick Rose.
Reinhold receives. McCardle on the floor. Stefan LeBlanc, had his pocket pick, got it back for a second. Now it's chopped to bits again by the captain, Mike Carnegie. Yeah. Carnegie went all over LeBlanc.
And Calgary's getting a penalty. I believe they're calling hold. I thought it was a checking from behind, if anything.
Okay.
Let's see what the ref has to say.
And who's going?
Calgary penalty number 16, 2 minutes for holding.
Yeah, I'm with you. I thought it was a check from behind, or we'll have another look.
Well, let's watch. Well, you know what it was. The free arm wrapped around.
Yeah, anytime you take
LeBlanc when he made that hit, yeah.
Anytime you're around another play, you take your hand off your own stick, you're asking for a possible holding call. So the Rock on the power play, 8th ranked in the NLL. It's come alive in the past 3 weeks. Stefan LeBlanc! And that hit a crossbar. That mesh rattled. Rock keep it here, and it's a fresh 30. Schreiber receives, taking point. Feeds LeBlanc. LeBlanc went to the stick side on the far end. Just over 3 minutes have expired in the second quarter. There's Schreiber pinching it behind the back pass, and beauty. And Chiliano steps up huge. On the Rock, get it back here. LeBlanc with some space in the lane. Clicks with LeBlanc. And again, that's the second time a post.
Yeah, that one got behind Chiliano. Just a weird bounce not going in the net.
2 of them. And now the Roughnecks come back with it, and we'll have a minute to kill. Calgary is a great penalty-killing unit, ranked 2nd. And they've scored 6 shorthanded goals so far this season of the Roughnecks. Curtis Dixon. That guy can shoot it.
And you know, even when he shoots from there,
it could go
everyone's holding their breath.
Yeah.
I've seen him score goals from out there many times.
Well, Shanny, there's a difference between a hard shot and then someone like Dixon who can put that same power behind any sort of angle of the stick. It's so impressive.
Yeah.
Schreiber gives to LeBlanc. One for the one touch. And you know Casey Bierne's back when you get that type of shot attempt. Chiliano sliding over.
Played it well.
Here's Bell.
Never saw a shot by Schreiber on that whole power play.
No, that's interesting. 4 seconds remaining for the Roughnecks, and they'll just wait. Now back to even strength. The captain, Mike Carnegie, going to stay on the floor. They have 5 to shoot. Calgary's used a lot of full shot clocks here. And Rose saw that offering all the way. Toronto now sprinting up the floor, off the bench. Caputo turning back. And Hickey, I haven't said his name too much tonight. And right in the lane, you had Caputo, who wanted a call, and he got pushed on his way to the net by Greg Harnett. Talk about that grit. Swatted down.
Adobe was wide open. That pass just didn't make it through.
McIntosh. Whoa, and Bradley Cree with some quality defense. Physical, but all legal. That shot is wide, high. Whoa, and taking like a center fielder right in front of the Rock bench. And Stefan LeBlanc was nailed from behind there.
Honestly, I don't think this was as bad as it looked. LeBlanc might not have seen it coming, but I think Carnegie held up on this hit.
Yeah, it looked kind of like a wide receiver and a cornerback going up for a jump ball here.
I'll tell you, in the old days, guys wouldn't let up. The guys are a lot more respectful now than they used to be, and I think that's a great thing. But I really do believe if he wanted to, Carnegie could have really hurt LeBlanc. And I think he held up on it, but still made contact, knocked him down.
Could have laid him out. We'll take a quick break. 3-1 the score. Rock lead the Roughnecks. You're watching the NLL on NLL TV.
brought to you in part by Sports Interaction, Canada's home for worldwide sports betting. Bet responsibly at sportsinteraction.com. Disclaimer, only residents of Canada may open an account with Sports Interaction. The service is not available to users outside of Canada.
Five-minute major, the call on Scott Carnegie.
That's harsh.
That is. And the Rock on a 5-minute power play here.
I think it's too harsh.
3-1 to score Toronto on the Roughnecks. And you're right, Shanny, it could have been a lot worse. And it was a hard hit, but it was kind of.
Yeah, I understand what the league is trying to do.
Yeah.
I just.
Because they were both going, he was going for the ball.
I just don't think it was a violent hit. I think.
So the Rock will have the man advantage, but the Roughnecks going short-handed. They have 6 of those this season. Sandy Chapman trying to get the ball out here, and he does. Rock have a short-handed goal this evening from Sandy Chapman.
I think they got to get some shots from Schreiber.
Right from the point, he takes it there, playing catch.
At least be a threat to shoot.
Going from side to side, Schreiber from the point, behind the back, pass over the top, scores! Brett Hickey from Schreiber, and it's 4-1 Toronto.
That'll work too, and what Hickey did that time that he wasn't doing earlier, it was a quick shot. As soon as it gets in his stick, he took the shot. Earlier on, he was doing a couple of pumps and letting Chiliano set up, but even on that one, it looked like Chiliano was square to the shooter, but he just found the corner, put it in off the pipe.
20th goal of the season for Brett Hickey. Team leading 20. And that was a phenomenal behind-the-back pass by Tom Schreiber. Very Colin Doyle-like on his jersey-raising retirement evening. Great ceremony to start. They'll have that all on NLL.com and TorontoRock.com for you to take a look at over the next day, I'm sure. Brett Hickey going for a sidearm whip. And remember, because it's a major, they remain on the power play. And the Rock score again. It's now 5-1.
And this time it is Schreiber, but not from up top. Schreiber and Hickey traded spots on the power play. And this time it's Hickey feeding Schreiber, and he takes the shot. I mean, I've mentioned this a number of times this year. I don't think he shoots enough.
No.
I mean, he's better now than he was early in the season. That was obvious that he was deferring to teammates far too often. I think he's getting a lot better at that. You know, when he got a shot like him, he's got to be taking 10 shots a game.
Oh, yeah. Well, you look, it's not even your more traditional-looking shot, Shanny. It's not really overhand. Where he's best is kind of dropping it and almost a sidearm or underhand. It's just so much torque behind it.
Yeah.
That makes it 5-1, both on the power play, under 8 minutes to go. And the Rock in full control, looking for more Chiliano. Squeezes his arm to his side to keep that ball out. But the Roughnecks are never out of it, Shanny, when you got Curtis Dixon.
No, you know, you always feel that way when you're playing a team like this. Now, just imagine 2 years ago they had Sean Evans pretty much with this same lineup.
Yeah. And still on this team, Dane Doby and Wesley Bergs had a nice evening, too. And Dixon went through a screen.
That's a nice save.
Oh, Rose saw just enough, and Dixon hammered after he let go of it. Rock quickly on transition, and Chiliano goes into the splits and somehow keeps it out.
Huge save by Chiliano.
Keeping the Roughnecks in this one. There's Mitch Wild rumbling around in the neutral zone. There's Digby. and put it right behind Lowe, and he didn't see it. Berg calling for it. He gets what he wants and fails to click with Digby.
And that was there. Like, that was there for the taking by Digby. Digby just couldn't grasp it.
Rock him over center. And there's Reinhold jogging. Getting shoved back. 12 to shoot. Hickey being forced out, an illegal pick. So it will be Calgary ball.
Yeah, Caputo a little too aggressive on that pick.
And the Roughnecks trying to get back on that momentum. They were buzzing after that Dixon goal, trying to get that back. Setting up for Shatler. Nice shot, but a Toronto defender's body got in the way. And both clubs, I think, overall, Shane, have done a nice job getting in the way of shots tonight.
Yeah, blocking shots has become a thing. It never used to be.
Doesn't seem like it'd be too fun.
No.
Especially no protection on those legs, too. Here's Dixon, stutter step. Oh! And Nick Rose got in the way of that one. Great positioning by Nick Rose.
A lot of volume on that shot on his back foot. Like you said, Dixon is able to get so much velocity, and it doesn't matter whether he's off balance or not.
There's Digby. Digby looking for some space.
Nice play.
Drops it to Dixon, who gets past his man.
And Dixon is just fighting it a little bit right now. He's getting the chances. But that's normally a goal for him.
Yeah. And Nick Rose has the ability, even when he's backed up in his net, just to make himself that much bigger, taking away any sort of angle. 5:17 left in the half. Rock lead 5-1. Oh. And now a penalty coming to the Roughnecks. Nick Rose heading to the bench for the extra attacker. 5 on the shot clock, though, so the Rock will have to make something happen quickly. And off the bounce! And that happened by accident. Caputo came off. Pass intended for Hickey, and it went to Caputo, who nearly buried it. So we'll sort out the penalty. 4:59 left. Rock up 5-1 on the Roughnecks. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on NLL TV. Don't miss your chance to see all the action live this season on NLLTV.com. Sign up for the NLL Pass to watch all the games or your favorite team. Plus, you get exclusive content, highlights, interviews, and more. Andy McNamara alongside Brian Shanahan back here at the Air Canada Centre. Rock up 5-1 on the Calgary Roughnecks. Toronto on the power play. Again, they scored 2 in the last one. A major on Scott Carnegie. And now in the sin bin is Tyson Bell for a couple. And trying for a shorthanded goal over the top. Whoa, just ran out of room there to Greg Hartnett, who's returned And assistant coach Bob McMahon was gushing over having him back in the lineup and what that means overall to this Calgary team. Now the Rock will try to settle in. Their 8th-ranked power play coming into tonight might rise. They were below Calgary. A nice swat down by the captain, Mike Carnegie. Rock are able to regain control, though, and wow, Chiliano slithered over and got down to his knees. Tremendous save. There's McRae galloping up the floor. In stride, and it's knocked away. Calgary's able to keep it well for the moment. Shatler trying to swim his way. Like an Olympian in a pool, just gets shoved away. Shatler just couldn't escape the current of the blue and red of Toronto Rock.
Well, there's no question. It looks like Calgary's trying hard to get that shorthanded goals. I think sometimes it might be wiser to eat up a bit of clock.
Yeah. 40 seconds left on the man advantage for Toronto. There's McArdle now taking the point. McArdle plants that foot, and when he can plant that foot and deliver, boy, McArdle has quite a shot. He takes in the neutral zone, gives it quickly to Reinhold. Reinhold now, and that went off of the shoulder, it looked like, of Greg Harnett. And it will be...
Yeah, the shot clock violation on that one.
23 seconds left to kill for the Roughnecks. Well, see if they can get a shorthanded goal here. Rock have won tonight. And they'll look to run this down here.
They'll wait till the guy comes out of the penalty box, but you never know with Curtis Dixon.
Oh, you're right.
You give him a little bit of room, and he's taking a shot or squeezing through to the net.
And you said it earlier, Shanny, from any part on the floor just about.
And we've seen him score some goals with one hand behind the back, through the legs.
All right, back to even strength here in a moment. And, yep, back to 5-on-5. 2:47 left. 5-1 Toronto. Rock get it back. Yeah, Reinhold pushing on the right wing. Gives to the weak side some space. And Schreiber got nailed by Tyler Burton. What a great defensive play by Burton. Now Casey Bierns, his first game back, coming off of the injured reserve. Turner Evans on there. Had that ankle injury, heard in practice a little while ago. There's Reinhold. Crisp pass finds him. Reinhold fighting for that ground ball. Calgary coming up with it for a second. LeBlanc. And now, finally, it's
everybody's having a hard time picking up that ball.
Less than 2 to play in the half. There's Bell. Bell turns on the Jets. And he winds back.
Toronto will be getting a penalty this time.
Yeah, Chiliano to the bench for the extra attacker. This will be a nice opportunity for Calgary to try to get some momentum going into that second half. Shot by Lowen, knocked down by Edwards. It's loose, and Calgary still the extra attacker. Went for a skipper. It's high, and that ball is way up, and now we'll see what the penalty is.
Their shooting has been off.
Toronto penalty number 91, 2 minutes, illegal body check.
Oh, you heard that? Oh, there we go.
Billy Hostrauser.
A little bit of a late hit.
Strauser went to the bench without too much
the
conversation.
all-encompassing illegal body check.
Yeah. Covers a lot of ground.
Penalty to number 91, Billy Hostrauser. 2 minutes for the illegal body check. Time of the penalty.
So that means for the rest of this half,
Billy Hostrauser,
Calgary will be on the power play.
And you said it, they need to score a goal to get a little momentum.
And the ball did not get through to Nick Rosen. This Rock defense really stepping up after a couple iffy outings. And a feed off the back, and that bounced right up in the air off the goal line. That's the second time that happened tonight. Somehow stayed out.
And without question, the Rock have had the better transition game.
Yeah.
So far.
Last minute of play in the half. Dixon with the beautiful feed. Rose with the better save. And Toronto called the
timeout. Yeah, wise move. They weren't sure if they were going to be able to pick up that ball cleanly.
So the Rock will take a breather. Still 1:21 left on the power play. So if the Roughnecks don't score, they will start the second half with the man advantage. Toronto one shorthanded goal this game. Their third of the year, coming from Sandy Chapman. Calgary converting at just over 52% of their power play opportunities this season, good for 7th in the NLL. Busy weekend around the NLL, Shannon. We have Calgary at Saskatchewan getting underway any moment. That's in Saskatchewan. Battle for first in the West Division, so that's going to be an exciting one.
Colorado at Saskatchewan, yeah.
Yeah, and then Georgia into New England Sunday at 1. Vancouver then goes into Colorado for their second of the back-to-back for the Mammoth. Interesting weekend.
You know, it's funny, Colorado plays in Saskatchewan tonight and at home against Vancouver. We're talking with our colleague Steven Stampen, who said that the advantage goes to the team who's played 2 nights in a row. And
it's been that way this year.
It is counterintuitive, but we've seen that in lacrosse, not just this year. You know, I talked to Coach Eddie Como, the coach of Georgia, and he says it's been like that ever since he can remember. The rested team does not perform well when a team's playing back-to-back.
It doesn't seem to make sense, but and Schreiber lost it. Schattler knocked it free. Dixon with the one-touch. What an opportunity. Nick Rose bailed out Schreiber there. 35 seconds left.
He sure did. You know, it's 5-1. We haven't been talking about him that much, but Nick Rose has had an outstanding half.
Oh, he sure has.
And that save was as big as any of them.
And Schattler.
Look at Dixon up the floor, too. He's looking for a fast break. He's letting Toronto play 4-on-4.
He's standing right there.
And Calgary just took a penalty.
A trip. So it's 12.6 seconds left and 41 seconds remaining on Hostrauser's minor. We'll be having 4-on-4 for the rest of this half. So we wait for the officials.
This is
penalty number 24, 2 minutes tripping.
Scott Carnegie with a tripping call.
The third time a Carnegie has gone to the penalty box.
Yeah. So a little bit of extra room on the floor as we go 4-on-4.
And Toronto's pulled Nick Rose, so they'll try for the one shot on a 5-on-4.
Yeah, extra attacker on the floor. You're right. 7 seconds left.
They'll wait till it's safe to shoot.
5 seconds. There's LeBlanc. Back to the point for Schreiber. Quick pass over. Trying to get Chiliano moving. And that will bring an end to the first half. Shanny, a bit of a slow start. We had 2 shots with over 2 shots apiece with 5 minutes gone by in the game. Then all of a sudden, Toronto started scoring in bunches.
Yeah, and you know what? We've talked about it many times this year. Toronto's had their most success this year when they're playing a strong defensive game.
Right.
And you can't be much stronger than holding a team to 1 goal and a half. And part of that's the great goaltending of Nick Rose.
Yeah, and special teams have played a huge part in this game for the Rock. They have 2 power play goals, 1 shorthanded goal. And Calgary's only score of the night has come from Curtis Dixon, and that was with the man advantage.
Yeah. Yeah, but there's been a string of penalties in this second quarter, and Toronto's been able to take advantage of it so far.
So with that, we will step aside about 10 minutes or so and come back for an exciting second half on Colin Doyle retirement night. Rock lead the Roughnecks at the half, 5-1. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on NLL TV.
Pro lacrosse teams are now fielded in Philadelphia, Boston, New York, Maryland, Montreal, and Quebec.
Yesterday there was friendly competition and not so friendly competition. We knew our true colors weren't just worn on our backs, they were painted on our faces and hoisted as high in the air as we could possibly carry them. Whatever it took to claim our turf. Yesterday, we left it all out there. Blood, sweat, tears. You name it, we left it. We kept ourselves focused and we kept each other in check. And the only thing we took were epic shots. Yesterday, we saw more twists and turns in 8 seconds than most people saw in an entire season. We lost the ball, lost our minds. We lost countless times in every game. If you could see the ball, that was a slow day. Yesterday, physics didn't apply to us. Gravity wasn't welcome in our box. Armed with just a stick and a ball, we took flight. Yesterday, we were the best we could be. Today is our day.
Let's get off to a great start here. Rock!
Up, up! Leave him!
The National Lacrosse League logo honors its over 30 years of history, but also pushes towards a new era, a new day. An updated colorway of black and silver illuminates the way forward, with technology and innovation as our mandate. The shield captures the warrior spirit of the physical battle of sport while being modern enough to appeal to new audiences. The goal. By extruding the shape of the shield, the container is one that is a nod to the ubiquitous shape of a lacrosse goal. The original four arrows representing the founding of our league with 4 professional box lacrosse teams. Washington, D.C., Baltimore, New Jersey, Philadelphia converged to create the NLL star, a modern interpretation of a star that combines both the arrows of the original 4 teams and a Native American morning star. The 4 arrows converge to create the heart of the star representing the current teams and the fans who are the beacon of the future of the National Lacrosse League. This is the National Lacrosse League. Today is our day.
Calgary Roughnecks are back in the Roughhouse Saturday, March 25th at 7 p.m. to take on the New England Black Wolves for Forever a Roughneck Night, presented by Cardell Homes. Get to your seats early to help the Roughnecks celebrate the career of former captain and Forever a Roughneck, number 17, Tracy Koluski. In honor of number 17, tickets to the game are $17 plus applicable fees. Get your tickets today at CalgaryRoughnecks.com. Calgary Roughnecks, come to the party, stay for the game.
Clutch, leader, dominant. Just a few words that come to mind when speaking about Colin Doyle. One of the best to have not only put on the Toronto Rock jersey, but to have suited up in the National Lacrosse League as well. The truth is, when it comes to the impact that Doyle has had on the Rock and on this league, none of those words even begin to do him justice. This Saturday night, the Toronto Rock will raise the 6-time Champions Cup winners number 7 to the rafters right here at the Air Canada Centre. Colin Doyle is the owner of one of the most impressive resumes this league has ever seen. In 1998, Doyle was named the NLL's Rookie of the Year, the same year the Rock franchise was founded, then as the Ontario Raiders. Number 7 was a part of the Rock organization all 6 times that it won an NLL championship. He was named League MVP in 2005 and won the NLL Playoff MVP an unprecedented 3 times. Doyle went on to amass 1,528 points over 300 NLL games in his career. On a personal level and on a team level, he did it all.
That's why his jersey's going up to the rafters, because he's been here from day one, and he's one of 2 guys that has 6 championships for the franchise, and you know, he represents everything that, you know, I want everyone with the Toronto Rock to be. So it's going to be a special night, well deserved.
Means the world to me. It's the ultimate honor for a team to do this, and you know, I look forward for the opportunity to say thank you to the organization and to teammates and fans. And it's going to be an exciting night with a lot of emotions, but I'm excited for it to happen.
Doyle's number 7 will join Bob Whipper Watson's number 29 in the rafters, currently the only number to have been retired by this franchise. Watson, a former Rock goaltender, was a teammate of Doyle's for 14 seasons, backstopping the Rock to 6 NLL titles.
That's a pretty big honor in itself. Whipper to me was the best Rock of all time. So to be up there with him speaks volumes about what it means to be up there. So it's going to be nice to spend eternity with him in there. And like I said, what greater honor to be next to him.
It goes without saying that Doyle is very highly regarded amongst his former teammates, many of whom recall growing up watching their former captain play right here in the city of Toronto. Stephen LeBlanc, currently one of Toronto's top forwards, who shared the left side of the floor with Doyle for 6 seasons, is one of those players.
He's a guy that, when I was in high school, I'd take the train, up here to come watch. And then, I was fortunate enough to play with him for many years and really get to know him. So I'm proud of him, and I'm just couldn't be happier for him to, be up there beside his buddy Whipper.
So Colin, are we going to see one of the greatest lacrosse players of all time shed a few tears on Saturday night?
I'm not making any promises either way. Hard to say. Like I said, it'll trigger a lot of emotions, so I'm definitely not counting it out.
For NLL Productions, I'm Tyson Geik.
It's something rewarding to me and rewarding to, I know, a couple other guys here that are here this week. To see at the end of the week them enjoy the game of lacrosse and them actually take a little bit from what we talk about and what we say and actually use it to their benefit of life skills or skills that are on the floor and skills that are off the floor.
Yes, Mia, now time for my box bosses, and for the second consecutive week, it was actually not too difficult for me. I was able to really select just 3 players that stepped up and had massive performances for their teams, put the teams on their back, came up huge in week 10. And at number 3, I'm going to start with Dangerous Dan Dawson of the Rochester Nighthawks. The 35-year-old played games in back-to-back nights, actually a night and an afternoon. 3 goals and 4 assists in the first game. Then he's got the game-winning goal and added another 4 assists in the second game. Going on 36 years of age, still putting up big numbers and coming up with timely goals for the Rochester Nighthawks. He's a big part of this team, very well respected around the league, and actually second in terms of active leading scorers across the league. At number 2, I've got big game Dane Doby. 1 shorthanded goal, 1 power play goal, 1 highlight reel tally, 7 goals total, 4 assists in that win over the Georgia Swarm. Doby's been hitting all sorts of milestones this season and has been putting together some seriously awesome performances, but I don't think there have been any better than this one that was put on display on Saturday night in Calgary. This guy was an absolute stud. And at number 1, I've got Callum Crawford, who had the sock trick against the Calgary Roughnecks. Callum is my pick for the number 1 box boss because of what he's been able to do without some of the Mammoth's best in the lineup. He's picked up the slack with those big names out. There's only been 1 time that this season that he's had less than 5 points in a game, and on Friday night, he put up a season-high 9 points against the Calgary Roughnecks. Welcome, lacrosse fans. Tyson Geik of NLL Productions here with you right now, and I'm joined by Shay Hewen, CEO and founder of the U-Hawk Camera. We have some exciting news for you today. The NLL has officially partnered with the U-Hawk Camera, the new official action camera of the National Lacrosse League. Shay, an exciting moment, for both parties here.
Yeah, it's an incredible day. It's a big step and a big moment in the history of sports. And for the National Lacrosse League to be the first league to step up and bring actual player point of view, video footage to fans at home in the actual real raw competition in the season, it's a monumental day, and we're very excited to be the official camera provider to be a part of that.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the NLL Social Circle, where we take a look at some of the big stories happening around the league on social media this week. And it all starts off in Toronto, as their upcoming game against the Calgary Roughnecks promises to be an intense one on the floor and an emotional one off the floor. The Toronto Rock will be retiring number 7's jersey. That's right, Colin Doyle's jersey retirement night. Fans across the league reacting to this one. In fact, Bryce Davidson says he'll be making the trip down from Muskoka. Fans were also asked to share their favorite Colin Doyle moment on social media, and I just love this picture from Sean Sutton with Colin and his son. Here's a heartwarming story out of Saskatchewan. Bobby Rose is a huge Rush fan, and she tells us why on Facebook this week. Bobby says that she is blind, but her husband said that she would really enjoy a Rush game. After going to her first one, she knows why. She says the crowds were loud and exciting, and now her and her husband are season ticket holders. That is a great story, Bobby. International Women's Day was this past week, and teams as well as players were celebrating the special woman in their lives. Just take a look at this picture from Kyle Buchanan with his mommy. So sweet. Well, a lot of fans were going home shockless after the Colorado Mammoth game last week. Callum Crawford earned his first career sock trick, and just take a look at some of the pictures that we found on social media, including this one from Matt Jenkins saying he's going home barefoot tonight. And another big night for Dane Doby, who tied a career high of 11 points. And because he was on fire in that game, well, he earned himself a fire helmet. That wraps up this week's episode of the NLL Social Circle. Fans, if you want a chance to be featured here, well, all you gotta do is use the hashtag NLL and tag us in any of your social media posts. For NLL Productions, I'm Mia Gordon.
He's got Digby on the take, scores! Now back over to Dane Smith with a shot, hit the goal post inside, he scores!
Afraid you might miss out on the big stories from your favorite team? Well, not to fear, the NLL newsletter is here. All you have to do is subscribe to the new NLL newsletter, and you'll get weekly updates from everything that is happening around the league. What are you waiting for? Subscribe today.
The third quarter underway here at the Air Canada Centre in Toronto. Andy McNamara alongside Brian Shanahan. 5-1 the Toronto Rock lead. The Calgary Roughnecks, the Rock in their home blue, red, and white uniforms. Roughnecks in their sharp white, black, and red. Slow start to the first quarter, where it was through the first 6 minutes, it was 2 shots apiece, no score, and then Toronto came on. Special teams, Shanny, has really been the story of this one. Couple power play goals for Toronto. They're looking for more. They got it from the right side. And the Rock, under a minute into the third quarter, have made it 6-1, and it's coming from Stephen LeBlanc.
Last 3 goals on the power play.
Yeah.
Almost all identical. 2 of them came from the right shooters, and this one comes from the lefty LeBlanc. Same play, though, from the man at the top. to the shooter and a quick shot.
Again, Chiliano to move. 9th goal of the season for Stephen LeBlanc. Was injured with a hamstring for 3 games. And Calgary wins that faceoff. Tyler Burton hikes it through his leg to get it to Calgary, but now Toronto coming back the other way. Bradley Krieg going through 2-3 defenders now. Loose ball picked up, and now an odd man opportunity. There's Challen Rogers. Rogers puts his shoulders down, and Rogers gets hit. There's a penalty coming to the Roughnecks. Nick Rose goes to the bench, and they'll get the extra attacker on. Rogers took a stick right under the chin. And that ball will go into the stands. And the Rock will go on another power play, which, as we said, Shanny has, helped them out quite a bit tonight.
Yeah, Calgary needs something to change the momentum of this game, and the penalties are not doing it.
Number 94, 2-minute slash.
Tyson Bell. And you'll see the slash here. Watch Rogers' chin. Boop.
Oh, it's that second one, yeah, the one that hit him in the face.
Yeah. Got him right there. You see the helmet move.
Calgary penalty to number 94, Tyson
So the
Bell,
goals tonight, we have 3 power play goals for Toronto, a shorthanded goal by Chapman, and the only roughneck goal coming from Curtis Dixon. So special teams is the story tonight. Hickey went for the feed to Reinhold, who's set up in the low post.
So of the 7 goals scored, 5 of them in the special teams.
I'm glad you did the math. I was trying to, wait. 28-21 shots in favor of a Toronto Rock. Minute 40 to kill for the Roughnecks. And there's Harnett. And going right on Rose. And that went in. Hold on now. Rose is arguing it. Rose looked like he got at least a piece of it. I didn't see it go in. Now one official looks like it might be
Well, I'd like to see
waved
this
off.
again, and we're going to get to see it right here. I believe Toronto was being called for a penalty.
Here's Greg Harnett, and he went over the top. Look at he went 5-hole. So you see Edwards on him.
How did he get this through?
I don't know.
Toronto's going to throw the flag because it looked like he was touching the floor by the time that went out. I'll be shocked if Toronto.
Oh, there it is.
There it is. And notice Calgary's trying to get to the face-off quickly because once the ball is dropped for the face-off, you can't throw the flag.
Matt Sawyer with some authority. That flag almost getting out at the face-off circle.
Well, for a second there, I thought he wasn't going to throw it, and I couldn't understand how because I'm not positive that he was on the floor. Harnett was on the floor when the ball went in, but it was definitely close enough that it's worth throwing the flag.
And still, we won't see from this angle.
I don't think this is a good angle for it because you can't tell whether he's touching the floor or hovering 2 inches above it.
Yeah, we have to get a flat angle of this. The ball certainly went in. Still, I'm not sure how he found that angle between Rose's legs. That was a great placement by Harnett.
And if this goal does count, this is exactly what Calgary needs to maybe kill the momentum that Toronto seems to have with these power play goals.
And they have the second best penalty kill in the NLL, 6 shorthanded goals on the season. So they know how to convert.
Well, they're not sharing much with us on the screen here.
No. They're just looking at that one shot. And again, you need a flat angle to say, okay, we might get it here.
I do think, though, that one we just saw is inconclusive, and this might be inconclusive, too. His feet look fine.
And you don't know when the ball goes in there.
That's hard to tell. I mean, I think he was in the crease.
Okay, so
he went down pretty quick.
Nice,
and I'm not even sure which referee called the goal, whether it was the referee on this side.
And Channing, I thought I saw another official there wave his arms off a few seconds after. I don't know if that was in relation to something else. So you see,
his foot touches there, and the key is what was the ball already in the net.
Right.
I think this is going to count just because they can't definitively prove otherwise.
And the officials look like they are coming out. So let's get the official call. Count it. So illegally checked into the crease, meaning it does count, and the Roughnecks have their 7th shorthanded goal of the season.
I know. I'm surprised at that one. I think the goal should count just because not enough to proof otherwise, but there's nothing wrong with checking a guy into the crease.
So 6 of the 8 goals have been on the special teams. Another shorthanded goal, this time to Calgary.
Now, I thought I saw an arm go up to call a penalty, so maybe if they felt that that was a hold and that was an illegal play that caused him to go in the crease, then I'll buy that.
So 2 minutes have expired in this third quarter. And still, the Rock, even though it doesn't feel like it, are on the power play for a minute 14. 3 power play goals tonight. Schreiber takes the odd hopper on the right side, and Shiliano was right there. Hickey receives. Hickey with some space, went to the weak side instead, had some room. Schreiber feeds Hickey. Hickey, and off the crossbar. Back to the point here. Rock get it right back in a fresh 30 on the shot clock. Pass redirected.
That took an odd bounce.
Yeah, Hickey went to go for it and scooted away from him. John Harnett gives to Shatler, who waits for reinforcements on the right side. Going for a little stroll. Look to eat up some clock here. 30 seconds left on the minor to Tyson Bell. In stride and coming out the back. Went for a one.
Did you see that? A one-handed shot.
Shanny, you said it, and he can do it one-handed. He almost did it there.
And
with some pop.
I was just going to say the one player you don't want to get the ball is Dixon, and he managed to get open, catch a ball, and with only one hand on the stick, slammed it down.
Kim, we are back to even strength.
And look at Tyson Bell just staying up the floor, just daring Toronto to take that shot.
And they did, and a second chance, scores! The first shot bounced right back. Is that McCardle?
Yeah, that was McCardle. Very fortunate. Bounce came right back to him. Calgary was taking I think it was a smart play. Tyson Bell staying up the floor. Eventually, Toronto sent a guy back to cover him. McCardle's rebound came right to his own stick.
And Carnegie just throwing up his hands, dropping that shoulder in a challenge coming from the Roughnecks.
I got to see what they're challenging here. I didn't think anyone was close unless they thought the shot clock had expired.
This McCardle is taking target practice there, coming right back to him.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure there was nobody near the crease.
No, it shouldn't be anything involving the crease, I wouldn't think. Let's have another look.
Let's see. Okay, first shot, it hit a leg. First shot hit a leg. Second shot, nobody's near the crease, so the only thing they could be arguing about is the shot clock. That's the only thing they can argue about.
And I don't know if we have an angle showing the clock or if they have access to that.
I really don't know what the referee's looking for if he keeps showing this. My understanding was the only argument was whether there was somebody in the crease or the goal went in after a shot clock. But I could learn something new here.
Yeah, sometimes. Other games in the NLL tonight, you have Colorado in battling Saskatchewan. That one just underway. First place on the West on the line. And then Sunday, the Mammoth get back at it in the late game hosting Vancouver. In the early 1 o'clock Eastern start, Georgia takes on New England. As the officials try to sort this out, we're getting multiple looks. And again, Shanny, I think you have to be right. It has to be coming down to the shot clock because we're seeing again there's nothing doing around the crease.
I wonder if he's looking for a replay that has the shot clock in it.
You kind of see it there. Can't make anything out. And yeah, and if you don't have that, then you can't overturn anything, can you?
No.
I wouldn't think. And Shanny, while we have a chance, we can share some Colin Doyle thoughts and memories here. Great.
Yeah.
Oh, what an opening ceremony. Folks, this is going to be all over NLL.com and TorontoRock.com as we'll share some Colin Doyle stories.
Inconclusive evidence. We got a good goal.
Inconclusive evidence, and I think, Shanny, you're probably right. They're probably looking for that shot clock.
Yeah.
Couldn't find it. And so, Kieran McCardle gets credit. And that makes it 7-2 Toronto. Face-off now between Tyler Burton and Bradley Cree. Cree, one of the premier face-off men in the NLL this season. Burton, though, hustling, coming out of that rugby-style scrum. Ball be picked up. They're battling, rolling on the floor. Toronto, Jesse Campbell squirts free and has it. For the moment, anyway, now it's knocked away by Manning. And Manning got the better of him.
Well, nowhere safe to run after you pick up a ball. Both teams found that out.
11:09 to go in the third quarter. Roughnecks down 7-2. Shatler takes it on the right side. Dishes back to the line for Berg. Berg trying for a screen. Went for a one-touch as Dixon was rushing in. Got the rebound. It's Riley Lowen. Riley Lowen with some space. Creates some separation, but Rose slides over. Got by Billy Hostrauser, who's limping his right leg, and Hostrauser will head to the bench in some pain.
Lowen just muscled past his man there.
There's Shalon Rogers. Rogers dips it to Caputo. Caputo using that 6'3" frame. Beautiful swim move. He's forced out, though. Down to a knee. And Caputo has it with 8 seconds left to shoot. Rogers gets hacked on the way and scores! Rogers got hit as he was passing it. And Stephen LeBlanc, I believe, will get this one.
Well, Caputo was running out of real estate and running out of time when he finally put the ball back to Rogers, quickly to LeBlanc. And I don't see the shot clock, but there couldn't have been more than a couple of seconds left here. And Caputo, second-year player Caputo, has impressed the coaching staff.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, Shalon Rogers, rookie as well.
12th goal of the season, second of the night. Stephen LeBlanc, and especially to stay composed, because Shanny, he knew he was going to get hit. Like it's tough.
Yeah.
When you see and you know you're going to get hit, the old saying is, well, you might as well make the play anyway because you're going to get hit regardless. So 8-2 the score. Shots 32-23 in favor of the Rock. Another scrum. These faceoffs between Burton and Cree are nasty. There's Gilbert. Gilbert with a 2-on-1. Gilbert went 5-hole and Chiliano shut the door.
Actually, Del Bianco's in net now.
Oh, well, there you go. A little mixing up Christian Del Bianco.
19-year-old Christian Del Bianco.
Okay, so the Roughnecks mixing it up. Del Bianco replacing Chiliano, who I don't think has had a bad game at all.
No, that's not a reflection on him at all. That's just shaking up the team.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's the only thing you can do.
And Shatler can't penetrate, and the ball got knocked away, and the shot clock hits 0. And, Shane, if you see a team using a lot of shot clock, quite often it means the other squad's defense. And the Rock are doing that.
That's what's happening.
So far, we'll take the break. 8-2 Rock lead the Roughnecks in the third quarter. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on NLL TV.
Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Sports Interaction, Canada's home for worldwide sports betting. Bet responsibly at sportsinteraction.com. Disclaimer, only residents of Canada may open an account with Sports Interaction. The service is not available to users outside of Canada.
This copyright telecast of the National Lacrosse League Incorporated may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the National Lacrosse League. Andy McNamara alongside Brian Shanahan. 8-2 the score. Rock up on the Calgary Roughnecks. 9:45 to go in the third. Shanahan, we were going to get to a Colin Doyle story. Then the goal call decision came back. So share some of the Colin Doyle's amazing career and some of your experiences.
Well, you know what? You know, he's top 10 goal scoring, points, assists, everything. But you know, what I find so amazing about his career, the MVP 3 times in the championship. He was such a clutch player. They won 6 championships.
Wow.
And, you know, so many games of the Rock that were like wild finishes. He was always in the middle of it. Jamie Dawick said it in the ceremony, maybe the most clutch player in the NLL. I mean, he was always wanting the ball for the big goal, and he always came through.
And Brett Hickey nearly scored twice there, missed on the long range, and then got the rebound as it came off the backboards. And now some pushing and shoving after the whistle. As they sort that out, Shannon, what I remember about Colin Doyle as a fan, and then the 7 years calling the Rock games, is the behind-the-back passes or shots. Just out of nowhere, one of the best.
Yeah, fun player to watch.
And Brett Hickey is going to the box. Check from behind. The illegal check from behind on Brett Hickey. Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's a good call.
There you go on Bell.
Toronto penalty to number 11, Brett Hickey. 2 minutes for the check from behind. Time of the penalty, 5:37.
Tyson Bell from St. Catharines, 6'2", 190.
For checking from behind.
Tough guy.
37. That means we
now
need
Calgary has a good chance to get back into this game right now.
Defense.
There's Shatler. Calgary has 1 power play goal tonight. Both have come on special teams. The other shorthanded. Scooped away by Toronto. Right back into the mesh of Curtis Dixon. And the movement on that ball. Curtis Dixon with the second of the night. Shanny, that ball knuckled and went up out of nowhere. That was phenomenal. Wow.
Well, Toronto did a good job blocking Shatler's shot, but the ball got scooped loose to Dixon.
Look at that.
Kind of, you almost feel like this is not the guy to give a second chance to.
No.
And Dixon makes the most of his second chance there.
And did you see the placement? It was less than an inch inside that post. Absolutely perfect placement. League-leading 32nd goal of the season. And now it's 8-3. 6 minutes have gone by in this third quarter. And the Roughnecks are never out of it when you have guys like Dixon, Dobie, Shatler, and Bradley Creed trying to get over. Has to get over center. Here's Sean Rogers. Neutral zone. He's being attacked by 2 Calgary defenders. The Rock pressing is Stephen LeBlanc. He has a couple tonight. Quick back at the goal line. Trying to take space. And Caputo couldn't pick it up. It was intercepted by Chad Cummings.
Toronto gets the ball back because
back in violation.
Calgary defender stepped into the crease. Lucky break for Toronto.
Yeah, 30 seconds back on the shot clock. There's Tom Schreiber. Schreiber! Says, hey, Curtis Dixon, check this out. Similar shot. Count it.
You know, just as I said, you don't want to give Dixon a second chance. Calgary gave Toronto a second chance. And the guy who's been their MVP so far this year, you could argue Nick Rose as well, but
yeah,
definitely offensively, he's been their best player. He takes another great shot through a crowd of people.
Hat-trick for Schreiber. 16th goal of the season.
26.
Tom Schreiber, absolutely sensational.
You know, Calgary has had enough of Tom Schreiber. He scored 3 goals, 3 assists the last game.
6:36. Tom Schreiber,
we have Bradley Creed
third of the game
down in the face-off circle. Has been having very physical interactions with Burton on the draws and rolling around on that floor. And Bradley Cree is down, looks to be in a lot of pain, and that would be a real shame if the Rock lost him.
Well, that's a tough job taking face-off.
Oh.
Just the battles with the face-off guy, it's after you pick up the ball and take a beating.
And Cree is down and don't know exactly what he's favoring. You have to hope at this point it's maybe the wind knocked at him or something. That'd be best case.
I think it's, I'm sure he.
Oh, maybe a leg, maybe that right leg.
Slashes to the leg or something to that effect, whether it's a twist or a slash, but that's not the wind knocked out of him for sure.
That is, and the right leg, and Bradley Cree not putting any weight on that right leg, and that is not good to see. Bradley Cree, what a season he's had, and hopefully it is nothing serious.
Yeah, coming into this game, 108 face-off wins out of 178.
Wow.
And those are numbers that I don't ever remember seeing a face-off man the Toronto Rock do as well as he's been doing this year.
And the only other guy who's taken any face-off draws is Jordan Magnuson, 16 of 49. And
And Cree
Andy
has
Chapman took one.
Cree has gone right to the dressing room.
Yeah, that is not good. We'll try to keep you up to date on anything we hear about Bradley Cree. As the Roughnecks will try to capitalize. Curtis Dixon pushed back on the Cree, scores! Wow! What a second effort by Wesley Berg. He had a man all over him, and Berg willed his way through. Take a look.
Yeah, you said it. This didn't have a lot of room. He was open for half a second. Dixon makes that pass, and you see Gamble tries to react. Man, it's such a tough game when guys can play that two-man game so well. You get open for half a second, and you make a team pay.
Shanny, I don't know what else Gamble could have done to defend Berg without getting a penalty on that. That was,
it's just you lose a step, and this is what happens in the two-man game. Teams try to force the defenders to switch, and sometimes on the switch you lose a step, and that's all it takes.
Jordan Magnuson taking the face-off there for Toronto, won that. That's Bradley Cree hurting a bad way. Schreiber looking for a screen. Gets rid of it to the right side now. Put back. Clicks with Schreiber. Great defense there. I think got it in the way of the stick of Dan McCray.
And I think that's Calgary.
Whoa! Hold on now. Behind the net. Out of nowhere. In behind Del Bianco. We got to take another look at this. Was that Hickey?
I think it was Hickey. I was just about to say that was Calgary's first 5-on-5 goal, and immediately after, to kill any momentum.
And Del Bianco did not put his back up against the crossbar. Hickey saw it. And there you go. Wow. 9-4 Toronto. Second of the night for Hickey. 10-4 rather, yes. Hickey's second of the night. 21st goal of the season. Leads the Rock in that category. Tyler Burton, Shanny, I think, in this building anyway, has been the most physical face-off guy I've seen the Rock face this year. He's grinds it out on every draw. 7:14 to go. Rock lead is at 6. There's Jeff Shatler. A little stutter step. Makes his way. Tries to find. Oh, and Wesley Berg went for behind the back shot. And Del Bianco going to the bench. Penalty coming to the Rock. Damon Edwards trying to pick it up. Finally does, and we'll see what the infraction is. Oh, some shoving after the whistle between Shatler and Edwards.
Well, it's definitely Toronto going to the penalty box. I think it's Damon Edwards, is it?
Let's see.
Toronto number 93, 2 minutes illegal cross-check.
Well, it's not Damon Edwards, it's Latrell Harris, but illegal cross-check.
So Harris, who's almost 19 years old, will be on March 15. Goes to the box. You see that by Wesley Berg. Couldn't get the positioning down in the behind the back pass, but well done. So back to the power play for the Roughnecks. Rose. Oh, he looked behind him for a sec. Left pad save. Racing up the floor, 3-on-1. There's Chapman. Chapman weaves and winds, and Del Bianco cut down the angle. Some fancy stick work there by Chapman as he races back. Boy, Chapman is ageless.
Calgary not doing a good job. Their power play not doing a good job getting back fast. That 3-on-2 was a little too easy for the Toronto Rock. Oh, that's a nice shot.
There you go. There you go. Dane Doby, who's been held in check so far tonight, gets his first of the evening. Calgary's 5th.
And Dane Doby's a shooter. You don't want to get him hot. I believe he had 8 last week.
Wow. And that's the firepower of Calgary. Again, Shanny, on paper, 26th goal of the year, Calgary should be fighting for the top of the West Division instead of hanging in there, tied with Vancouver at 4-6.
Well, even just their offensive stats is in the middle of the pack.
It's Dixon and then everybody else.
Their average goals per game is 5th or 6th in the league.
Yeah. Harris goes hard into the backboards, trying to make up for taking that penalty. So a power play goal there by Doby. 3 of the 5 goals have been on the special teams for the Calgary Roughnecks.
4 of the
Actually,
5
all of it
goals.
with the shorthand, 3 on the power play, and the Harnett.
4 of their 5 goals have been on the power play.
And the Rock getting it out. Oh, Hostrauser hitting stride by Dane Doby. Gets back to it, though. And Hostrauser went off limping a little bit earlier. Looks to be back no worse for wear. There's Jeff Gilbert. Gilbert with the feed. Wow. And a great save by Del Bianco, who is up on his feet quickly, and a better snare than Odell Beckham-style one-hander. Man, and scores! That was excellently executed from coast to coast there by the Calgary Roughnecks, and it began with the quick outlet pass by Del Bianco after a great save.
Yeah, I believe Del Bianco got the second assist on this one. He threw it up the floor to Schattler, who hit Westberg on the run. And for the first time this game, Calgary has scored 2 goals in a row, so could be the start of a run.
I wish we could see the replay of how that all developed, Shanny, because that was absolutely gorgeous. 18th goal of the night for Berg. Everything clicked there. And hey, still tons of times left in this game, folks. 5:06 to go in the third, and the Roughnecks are now just down by 4. Now the Rocks so far this season are 5-1 leading at the half. Under 5 minutes left. Toronto looking for some more. There's Schreiber. Schreiber tries to break some ankles there. Casey Behrens has been quiet in this game. Pops out of nowhere, as he's known to do. Behrens trying to work his way in after a stay on the injured reserve and falling to the ground. Schreiber picks it up. Schreiber's up just inside the line. 16 to shoot on the shot clock. Great feed to Stephen LeBlanc. Picked up off the backboards. Rock over the top, and Del Bianco has been very sharp in relieving Frankie Chiliano.
Good save by Del Bianco.
We'll step aside. 10-6. Rock lead the Roughnecks. 4:27 to go in the third. You're watching the NLL on NLL TV.
That's impossible.
Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Sports Interaction, Canada's home for worldwide sports betting. Bet responsibly at sportsinteraction.com. Disclaimer, only residents of Canada may open an account with Sports Interaction. The service is not available to users outside of Canada.
Sign up and get all the latest NLL news delivered right to your inbox. Visit NLL.com and sign up for the NLL newsletter right now. Welcome back to the Air Canada Centre here in downtown Toronto. Andy McNamara alongside Brian Shanahan. What a game we have here. The Rock up 10-6, but it's been the Roughnecks who have scored the last 2 goals. You can follow us on Twitter at NLL, Shanny at SBD Shanny, myself at Andy MC81. Use the hashtag Cal versus Tor to get in on the conversation.
Well, 5-1 after the half, and this quarter here we've had 5 goals for Toronto, 4 goals for Calgary. Calgary got the last 2.
And the Rock lost faceoff specialist Bradley Cree, and Del Bianco's relieved Frankie Chiliano, feigned that he was going to leave the net, goes back in. Great save there by Rose. Long feed, what a crisp pass on a string to Dixon. Dixon gets turned inside out. Rose grabs it.
Great job by Sandy Chapman to come over and double team Dixon and chop the ball out of that stick.
And Caputo has had a nice game, using that big body to clear some lanes. Hickey dishes to the right wing. Back to LeBlanc. Stefan LeBlanc. The crafty left-hander finds Schreiber. Another great pass. Schreiber. And swing and a miss by Caputo. Took his eye off the ball for that one moment. Caputo picks it up, though, and flings it as the shot clock hits 0. Del Bianco
can run.
He can scamper. He went right up to center. All right.
Well, I've seen a couple of times this season where they put him in late in the game when they're down because he can run to the bench back and forth a lot faster.
It looked like he was going to do it there for a second, and now he is. All right,
Yeah,
extra
they're putting
tacker
the extra
on.
man, pulling the old trick play.
For Calgary, Del Bianco. Impressive athleticism, and he's going to go back in. Trying to throw the rock off there. Game some space. And getting back in there at the last moment, Latrell Harris. Nice defense as Berg separated himself for a moment. And Riley Lowen saying he wants a penalty, and the ref disagrees.
I guess Del Bianco's so fast going back and forth that they feel comfortable pulling him for the extra attacker. You know, and before that shot was even taken, there was a player going back to the bench. Just used to get a guy open for a second.
Yeah, you don't see that very often. Schreiber with the high pass, too hot to handle, to his American counterpart, Kieran McCardle. They traveled from Long Island, New York together, roomed together on the road. And Schreiber from McCardle, the American experiment converts. And it's the 11th goal for Toronto, 4th of the night for Captain America.
I've been saying it over and over. The guy's got to shoot more. He's got 4 goals, and I don't think he's shooting enough.
Right.
He's got such an excellent shot. Every time he shoots, there's a chance of a goal.
And look at that point to Kieran McCardle. These two, the chemistry keeps growing. And this is the first time that these guys have played the indoor box lacrosse game is this season, folks. It all starts in the field game, but this year we're seeing them grow, and this is only the start. And out the back door, Latrell Harris with a break. And that shot was off the mark. Del Bianco went down to the splits. Man, what a story. Schreiber leading the rock and McCardle getting better, as you said, Shannon, each and every game. 2:10 to go in the third. Trying to create the space here, coming back the other way.
Lazy
and intercepted.
pass.
There's LeBlanc. Stefan LeBlanc with some space. He's going to take it himself. And Del Bianco reaches back. Just tapped it over or out from that crease line.
LeBlanc was on the wrong side of the floor, but he saw a rookie goaltender net. I think he thought he could maybe trick him.
Buck 42 to go in the third. Calgary ball. Billy Hostrauser kind of pushed his way on Schattler. Yeah, Digby there. Oh, sidearm whip by Dixon. The rebound is picked up by Toronto. Hostrauser taking some shots on the chest by Schattler. Hostrauser in front of the Toronto. Hostrauser almost got pushed right into the crowd. Oh, and Hostrauser taken down. Number 91 takes numbers, folks. Keep an eye on him later on. And now you see Del Bianco getting in on the action on Chapman.
A great effort by Chapman to get that ball for Toronto. But you're right. Hostrauser, I think you could almost start to call him a veteran. I knew there was nothing good going to happen when he was trying to squeeze in along the boards there.
Just over a minute to go in the third. Brett Hickey with the soft touch. Nearly met to LeBlanc. Uses his soccer skills. Gets it to Reinhold. Hickey now scores. Hickey with the bouncer. I don't know how he fit that in, but he did. Hickey with the hat trick. And it's 12-6 Toronto.
Nice little pass by Reinhold, but Hickey knew exactly what he wanted to do here. Holding his stick up high, shooting down low.
Got the bouncer. One of the trickiest shots for a goalie to stop is when you got that ball a foot or two in front of you, you never know which way it's going to bounce. Face-off down, Magnuson and Burton. And it's scooped back, taken by the Roughnecks and Curtis Manning. Manning pushed down. Roughnecks have to get it over toward the 8-second mark. They do, but Reed is the captain. Brody Merrill on the fast break. Merrill shots off the post. His stick was touched at the last moment. But Brody Merrill turning on the Jets there.
Well, we've seen the last few weeks he's scored a few big goals coming down the center of the floor like that.
The new captain on Colin Doyle Knight, a long-time Rock skipper, having his number retired and raised to the rafters here at the Air Canada Centre. Doesn't matter if you're a fan of the Rock or not, you just have to respect Colin Doyle and what he's done. 20 seconds left in the quarter. Schreiber puts his shoulders down, pulls back, 7 to shoot. Schreiber waits. 2, 3 guys on him. Schreiber still has it. He wisely tossed it to the corner. Now Del Bianco coming out.
Calgary's not leaving anything to chance. They're sending 3 guys on Schreiber there.
And there's McRae, another high hopper. Out the back, 2 seconds left, and that will bring an end to the third quarter. And Shanny, when you have that, and some shoving after, when you have that athleticism by Christian Del Bianco, just at the whole dimension to the goaltender position, because he can make a play happen on his own to start up a play or a run.
Yeah, I like the element that it adds when a team has to wonder whether he's going to the bench for the extra attack or not.
Because he's so fast. All right, Rock doubling up. The Roughnecks 12-6 at the end of 3. We'll be back for the 4th. You're watching the NLL on NLL TV.
Digby on the take, scores. Now back over to Dane Smith with a shot. Hit the goal post inside, he scores.
Afraid you might miss out on the big stories from your favorite team? Well, not to fear, the NLL newsletter is here. All you have to do is subscribe to the new NLL newsletter, and you'll get weekly updates from everything that is happening around the league. What are you waiting for? Subscribe today.
Don't miss your chance to see all the action live this season on NLLTV.com. Sign up for the NLL Pass to watch all the games or your favorite team. Plus, you get exclusive contents, highlights, interviews, and more. And in the first quarter, you have Saskatchewan leading the visiting Colorado Mammoth 5-4 at SaskTel Center. Welcome back to the ACC. Quite a game we have here. Andy McNamara alongside Brian Shanahan. The Rock doubling up. The Roughnecks 12-6 at the start of the fourth quarter. But Shanny, this has been a much closer game than the score would imply. And that might change right here. Del Bianco in net, replacing Frankie Chiliano, doing a great job.
Well, that last quarter was Calgary's best quarter.
Oh, yeah.
Toronto's going to get a penalty here.
And they will have a chance, the Roughnecks will.
Although, despite being their best quarter, Calgary was outscored 7-4.
Yeah.
It's their best quarter because they were outscored 5-1 in the first half.
Yeah.
In fact, Toronto scored 2 late goals in that quarter.
Checking from behind is the call, going to the Rock. That'll be Jesse Gamble. And yeah, that's a good call on Jeff Shatler. So for the Roughnecks, they have 4 power play goals tonight, Shanny, for the Roughnecks?
Well, I think they have 3 power play goals, 1 shorthanded
and 1
goal.
shorthanded. Special teams, what a stop by Rose has been the story. The Rock have 3 power play goals and a shorthander themselves. Out the back door, off the bench, and that was Brett Hickey trying for their second shorthanded
Toronto
of the night.
had all kinds of fast break opportunities
Yeah.
while short.
And Digby tried for one of his own, and they get it. The Roughnecks score on the power play.
And Roughnecks turned that into a transition goal. Just picked up the ball quickly on the turnover. And the
Digby.
quick whistle, took it to the net. Great play.
Digby with a nice quick touch off of the feed from Digby. So that makes it 12-7, and the special teams storyline continues to grow in importance. Yeah, Magnuson and Burton. Now, Bradley Cree, we don't have an update on him yet. Left in a lot of pain, unable to put any weight on his right leg. We'll see if we can get you an update. Otherwise, stay tuned to NLL.com and on Twitter at NLL for the latest updates there.
Well, Magnuson has been doing a good job
has.
battling on the...
Yeah, Tyler Burton.
Nobody's
nasty.
been winning them cleanly. That's...
Oh, no, he's been rolling around and been a rugby scrum all night. And the ball will go to the Roughneck team. Curtis Dixon. He has a couple tonight on the power play.
You got to figure Dixon's got to be hurting pretty good after these games.
Oh.
And he plays on the faceoffs as well. Look at this.
Yeah. Oh, Jesse Gamble, number 4. Gamble rolling the dice and a save by Del Bianco. Del Bianco. And Frankie Chiliano is not having a bad game, but man, he just adds that extra element of athleticism and speed in net, being able to come out or go to the bench. I like him a lot.
Well, there's been 3 good scoring chances on just this first minute and a half. He's looking over to the bench already.
Yeah. Always.
That's a long run if he's going to take that one.
And even if it's just a little threat, that was a bad shot by Calgary. Even if it's just a threat, it keeps the opponent just having to think and respect it.
Off balance, you're right.
Billy Holstrauser dishes and heads to the bench. Here's Stefan LeBlanc. He has a pair tonight. LeBlanc backpedaling his way in, pushing to the low post. Back to Rhino. Rhino fakes, and that was a high off-the-mark shot. So 2 bad deliveries on both sides of the floor. A 2-on-1 for a moment on the transition. Going through behind the back, Dobie. It was a wild spinning backhander. Oh, and Dobie just like a lumberjack on a tree. Except the tree was Edwards, and Dobie spins out of nowhere, and he'll get rid of it.
Great effort by Dobie, but there's no way the referee should have awarded him that ball.
No.
He just dove at the Toronto player, knocking him down.
That was such a wind-up with the stick. And Brody Merrill, the captain, got rid of it. And now Kieran McCardle. He's had a great game. And Rock player down and scores. Now Casey Beers rolled on the floor for a moment. He's back up now. So that was the focus for a second, but the Rock were able to let a long-range rocket go. And that will be Stefan LeBlanc. Now, I'll have a look here. So McCardle makes the play, draws the defense, and drops it to LeBlanc, who just planted that foot in the lefty.
No, just a good outside shot. I never saw what happened to Behrens, but I think he was feeling a little bit better after he saw that ball go in net.
He went
for
down.
His teammate.
I'm all right. So lefty to lefty, McCardle to LeBlanc, and McCardle has had himself a nice night. Goal and a few helpers. Hat trick for Stefan LeBlanc. And that's LeBlanc's 11th of the season. And this is 7th game. Missed a few with a hamstring injury. Three minutes has expired in this fourth quarter. Calgary's going to start a run. They better start it right now. And that ball just did not get through. And the Toronto defense has been doing a tremendous job getting in the way of Calgary shots. Here's Brody Merrill in the neutral zone, waiting for reinforcements. He'll get him. Cross floor feed, and now you have Hickey on the left, Reinhold on the right there. A fading pass there, skip shot. And Brett Hickey lowered that shoulder.
You got to wonder if Calgary's going to consider the goaltending change. And I think they are.
Fourth of the night for Brett Hickey, and you see him planting a bit of a screen there. But
you watch how far out he bounces it. You know, a lot of bounce shots, you're bouncing the ball, so the ball hits the floor on the blue in front of the goalie. That one, it pretty much hit the floor right in front of Hickey.
Yeah, you're right.
So it was a rising shot.
And there it is, Frankie Chiliano back in net. So the second goaltending change for Calgary. And Brett Hickey. What a great season he's had. Coming back, scored 50 goals for Toronto, 2 seasons ago, I guess, Shanny. Long outlet pass, too hot to handle for Dixon. It was a high one by Chiliano. And the Rock now doubling up the Roughnecks 14-7.
We talked about Schreiber having a great game last time we played these guys with 3 goals, 3 assists. Today, Schreiber, if I've counted it right, 4 goals, 3 assists.
Wow. And there's Stephen LeBlanc. A swim move, gets pushed back though. Curtis Dixon. Tremendous defense there by Dixon, and he's rumbling up the floor. Dixon waiting. Dixon slithering, sliding, went underhand, but the ball got too high.
They are playing Dixon a lot.
Oh,
why not?
Out the back door. There's Merrill with the one touch. Oh, and hit. It scores. Wow. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So tic-tac-toe. Have another look at this. Started by Brody Merrill.
Starting by Merrill, but off balance. What a great play. Schreiber again.
Are you kidding me? Oh, and Hickey says, thanks, buddy. Takes the punishment. 5th goal of the night for Hickey. Another assist for Tom Schreiber. 5th of the night. And the Rocks offense is on fire.
Great finish by Hickey, but that was Schreiber all the way to get knocked on your butt and make that nice pass.
And it all started with a setup by the captain. And someone's stick is broken on the floor in front of the Calgary bench. Oh, Reinhold lost it for a second down in the neutral zone. You have LeBlanc. Calgary just looks like they're all out of sorts here. McCardo. The rookie lefty, and that pass just too high for LeBlanc.
You said it, they are out of sorts. That was their defense is not playing defense right now.
No, they're pressing. They're down by 8. Jeff Shatler waits in the neutral zone. That stick's still on the floor. Broken. Keep an eye on Digby. Digby feeds high. And Wesley Berg. Another behind the back shot. And the Roughnecks are just not converting on those tonight. Berg with a bouncer. Well off the mark behind. Rattle. Great rebound attempt, though. There's Riley Lowen. Lowen scoops up the loose ball. And a 30-second shot clock violation. Rock ball.
There's a slash.
Whoa. Some frustration boiling over. Oh, and Sandy Chapman said, you're going to the box. And Riley Lowen says,
Riley
you're
Lowen's
going to
going
the
for
box.
sure. The question is whether somebody goes with him.
I think Chapman is the official. I thought I saw a point to Chapman. We'll sort it out after the break. Rock lead the Roughnecks 15-7. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on NLL TV.
This week's episode of Versus, Dane Dobie of the Roughnecks going up against Mitch Jones of the Bandits. Let's take a look at the champion play. Jones falling on his face and scores. Yep, that play took down Dan Dawson last week. It's our one-time reigning champ, and this week he's going to go up against Dane Dobie of the Roughnecks, who has a behind-the-back goal in a crazy performance against the Swarm.
Well, you want to bet you might see that on Versus later this week on the NLL's plays of the week.
You guessed it, Dobie comes up with the around-the-world behind-the-back goal. Who have you got, Dobie? Or do you have Mitch Jones? Fans, we need your help. You got to head to Twitter. You got to...
Back at the ACC in Toronto, Andy McNamara alongside Brian Shanahan, 15-7 Rock up on the Roughnecks next week. On Friday, St. Patrick's Day, Colorado Mammoth in town here at the Air Canada Center. And what a deal. If you're listening to this game, Shanny, the St. Patrick's Day deal, I believe it's for $45. You get a lower bowl ticket, a 20-ounce beer, and a shirt.
You know
That's
what?
phenomenal.
You might have to find another partner next week because I might be taking up that offer.
It's like, who's that? Shanny's in the Platinums down there with his free shirt.
Well, you better not forget to wear your bright green shirt because I'm wearing mine.
I have a fade or a light green shirt. I have to get a brighter one.
I take all kinds of abuse for it every year, and I love it.
That'll be a great one when the Mammoth come to town. Have a great one here tonight. Roughnecks pressing and the Rock looking for more. Come the Rock. We've had 2 goaltending changes for Calgary. You had Frankie Chiliano start the game, was pulled for Del Bianco, and Chiliano's rumbling to the bench.
Toronto's going to get another penalty.
Mitch Wild here to the right wing.
And I think it will be called a hold. It gets back to what you said when you take that extra hand.
Yeah. There's offsetting penalties between the Rock and Calgary before that break. And we still don't have an update on Bradley Cree, who left the game, the faceoff specialist for Toronto, with a right leg injury. Oh, and Jesse Gamble chirping.
Well, there's no question this Calgary team is in an ugly mood right now. This is not how they wanted this game to go.
Slashing.
I thought they were going to call hold. But last Friday, Calgary got their butts kicked in Colorado, 18-9. And they came. That was their 5th loss in a row.
Yeah.
They went home, and they had Georgia Swarm, the best team in the league, ready to meet them, rested and ready to go. And Calgary came up with their best game of the season.
And
so they were hoping
dominated.
to get some momentum going, and it has not happened. Still 9 minutes to go, but they got a big hill to climb.
Curtis Dixon somehow, that went in. That went in. Curtis Dixon, who you said it, Shanny, can shoot from absolutely anywhere. Had 2 guys on him. Did a one-hander. If it wasn't between his legs, it was close, and it got through Rose.
Watch, it's like a backhand. Backhand shovel shot. And Rose looked like he played it well. Got a piece of it, but enough velocity on it that it turned Rose's stick and crept in.
What a goal by Curtis Dixon. And that is his 3rd of the night, 33rd goal of the season, leading the National Lacrosse League.
Calgary's 8th goal. I believe we're now at the 5th or the 6th of them have been specialty teams.
Yeah.
That's their 5th power play goal, along with 1 shorthanded goal. So they've only scored 2 goals, 5-on-5. And they're 5 for 8 on the power play now.
And a kick saved by Rose. Big juicy rebound to Wesley Burke. Swatted back to Schattler. If I'm not mistaken, Dixon's all 3 goals have come with the man advantage. Whoa, Dixon! Absolutely turned inside out. There's no penalty. It was clean. Here comes Toronto. A shot, and it's high and wide. Latrell Harris, the soon-to-be 19-year-old.
I'll give both those guys credit. Great job by Latrell Harris to steal the ball off one of the best players in the league. But I love the way Dixon put his head down and ran back.
He said, all right,
that
kid.
was pretty impressive.
He did. Diving, leaping, and Chiliano matches Schreiber in the air. Roughnecks back the other way. And for Calgary, they'll be watching the Vancouver-Colorado game Sunday at 9 on NLL TV because the Vancouver Stealth are also at 4-6 right now. Oh, and that's a last-second skip shot like a rock on a pond. Whoa! Hold on now. Rose having trouble handling it. He's got to get it out, and he just wails it down the floor.
He realized the 8-second shot clock was about to go. I think he's just happy he didn't put it in his own net there.
Played a little long catch there with his fellow goaltender Frankie Chiliano. Unintentionally. Went for the bouncer high. That went right into the Reds here at the ACC. 20 rows up. And Brody Merrill jogs over center.
Tyler Digby's been quiet this game. Just 1 assist. The big 6'3", 220-pounder who was drafted to the CFL.
And there's McCardle. Scars! Kieran McCardle faked the pass just inside the line and took it himself. Number 6 buries it.
Yeah, you said it. He just drove to the net. I think everybody was waiting for who he was going to pass it off to, and he just decides to take it hard to the net, puts it in the short side.
10th of the season, 2nd of the night for Kieran McCardle.
Somewhat overshadowed by his partner, Tom Schreiber, but McCardle's had a pretty good game as well.
He has too. Shannon, I got to chat with him and Schreiber for the American Experiment two-parter article and put out on NLL.com with audio in it. And boy, what a humble guy, and him and Schreiber just learning off of each other and welcomed in by this Rock organization. And boy, what a story. There's Reinhold. Little stutter step. And what a stop by Chiliano. Big rebound and a shoulder save again by Chiliano. 16-8 for the Rock. Long pass by the captain. And Calgary pressing this course. Dixon. Oh, Rose looked behind him. He didn't know where it was. He moved and his equipment got just enough.
Well, Calgary's offense definitely has been better this second half, but the problem is that they're trading goals with Toronto.
Yeah.
Really, they're trading one Calgary goal for every 2 Toronto goals.
And that's exactly how it is because they're doubled up right now. Chiliano stumbled, fell back in his net. McCardle looking for the hat trick tonight. McCardle feeling it.
That was Schreiber.
Oh, that was
Schreiber looking for his 5th.
I saw the 6. Didn't see the 2. Oh, and Shatler just missed. Under 5 minutes
over
to go.
And back there because that hit the post.
Yep. Under 5 minutes to play. 16-8 Rock. And there's Digby. 1, 2, 3 Rock
defense.
defenders.
Oh, my God.
He still has it. Digby got rid of it. Drove the defense in. Rose all the way down.
Oh.
Wow. Unbelievable. Shatler, after Digby was hit by 3 Rock defenders, kept the ball somehow and got it to 7.
Well, I just said how Digby's done nothing, and that's really the first good play he's made, and it was a beauty. 3 guys bring him down. He gets back up, and Shatler just had enough patience to eventually get Nick Rose down, and he put it in.
And Shatler was right on the goal line. He didn't have a whole lot of room to maneuver either. Very impressive, but is it too little, too late for the Roughnecks? They're going to go on a run. It has to be right now. And it might be. There's Shatler. Shatler almost got it. Magnuson picks it up. Gives to Gamble.
Well, the problem for Calgary is, Toronto can eat up clock every time they get it.
You're right.
Calgary's got to score on every possession pretty much. And Calgary's got to score and score quick.
There's Toronto. Stephen LeBlanc sidesteps his way. And Chiliano squeezes the pads. McCardle grabs the rebound off the glass.
And the thing is, with Toronto, there's enough shooters out there that like scoring that they're not going to stop taking shots and go to the net.
McCardle slithers along. LeBlanc with a swat on the rebound. Grabs his own rebound.
And a slashing penalty is going to go to Greg Harnett.
Oh. And Nick Rose goes to the bench.
Yeah, Toronto will just kill the 30 and take a late shot. There's about 18 seconds to go on the shot clock.
Stephen LeBlanc. Abe to Hickey. Fails to click. But LeBlanc grabs it still. Still the extra attacker on. And getting a piece of it, McCardle. Still Toronto ball with the extra attacker.
Well, the coaches are telling them to slow down. They got to reset. They got another 30 seconds they can kill.
And the Rock just winding things down.
This delayed penalty has allowed Toronto to kill a minute of the game.
Yeah, with that extra 30. Garrett McIntosh got a piece of it for Calgary, and Chiliano down to his knees, and the ball bounced into his belly. We'll take our last break. 69 Rock lead the Roughnecks. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on NLL TV.
Now, Mia, of course, time now for Unstrung Hero of the Week, presented by String King, a player who may not have chipped in on the score sheet, but contributed to his team's successes in some other way. So who have you got?
I have to give it to Ty Belanger. He stepped up so big for the Vancouver Stealth in a very difficult game against the Saskatchewan Rush. He knew he had a challenge ahead, and he was all up for it. Just take a look at his stats in this game. He had 55 saves on 64 shots on goal, 20 saves in the fourth quarter alone to make sure that Vancouver came out on top of this one. This was the 5th straight start for Belanger, and we've spoken about how he's getting better and better, more confident each week. Another stat in this game, he also had 3 assists in this game. He was hoping for a goal, but wasn't quite able to get that. Actually a little disappointed about it, but a big game for him nonetheless. He says he's been finding his rhythm as of late, and you can definitely see that, and that is why Ty Belanger is my unsung hero for the week.
Ty Belanger playing some of the best lacrosse of his career right now, and I've said it once, I'll say it again. You show me a good team, and I'll show you a good goaltender between the pipes for that team. And the Vancouver Stealth want to turn things around, get things on track. Ty Belanger is going to be a big part of that, and he has been for this team.
Back to the Air Canada Centre. Great crowd this evening on Colin Doyle night is number 7. Raised to the rafters here at the Air Canada Centre. Andy McNamara alongside Brian Shanahan with you. 16-9 the Rock lead visiting Calgary. And Shannon, we have an update from Saskatchewan as they're hosting the Mammoth.
Yeah, 8-6 for Saskatchewan late in the second quarter.
And this is a battle for first place in the West Division.
And I think this would be a game that Colin Doyle would approve of.
Yes.
This is the kind of game he loved. Lots of goals.
Oh, yeah. One of the best.
Great efforts.
So many memories here at the Air Canada Centre. 2:46 left in the game. Rocking their blue, red, and white uniforms. Calgary white, black, and red. Rock playing catch and are on a power play here, and we'll just look to wind things down and probably try to add another one. Hickey takes it just outside the line.
Caputo getting some power play time.
And Chiliano. Boy, he hugged that arm to his chest. And Berg trying to get it in stride. Ran out of room, though, and just swatted it back, and the Rock pick it up.
Yeah, and Toronto will probably continue just to move that ball around, take a late shot. But I just mentioned, I don't know if you heard, they put Phil Caputo on the shooter spot for the Rock, so they're giving some youngsters some chance out here.
Which is valuable. Caputo's had a nice game. Had a terrific assist. He fought off and had a feed from his backside. Rock 58-39, now 59-39 in the shot category. Man. And Stefan LeBlanc, woo, and an over and back. So a lot of shots. And I don't know really, Shane, if you'd look to blame any of the Calgary goalies tonight. We've seen both of them. Whoa, and the Roughnecks score one here. Tyler Digby had a nice helper a few minutes ago, and now it's a goal.
And a short-handed goal.
What a night for special teams.
And, well, really, that's all that's worked for Calgary is their special teams.
2 short-handed goals. That's their 8th of the season. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the power play. A minute 44 to go. 17th of the season for Digby.
Well, it's safe to say it's too little too late for Calgary.
And Magnuson taking the face-offs in place of the injured Bradley Cree, who could not put any weight down on his right leg. Heard it earlier tonight.
Only the second time this game that Calgary has scored 2 goals in a row. Toronto's got on numerous runs.
And trying to get Curtis Dixon out the back door. Play broken up. Calgary will grab it. That's Shatler. Shatler going to Rose. And Dixon picks it up. We've seen him with 2 or 3
How did he
rushes.
get that ball?
How does he have? And we've seen him score with 2 or 3 men on him before. It doesn't matter. Sidearm shot to Shatler, or pass, went for the far side. Ball ricochets off the glass and throw. Oh! And Arnett with a hit. Campbell didn't see him coming, and to his credit, kept possession. 44 seconds left. So back to even strength in this last minute. And unlike the last 2 Rock home games, this one will not go to overtime. Both losses for Toronto. They'll set up to move to 6-4 and try to create some separation, and now some shoving.
Tyson Bell and Brett Hickey. And Bell's going to the penalty box. So with 27 seconds to go, Calgary's going to be short. Toronto will likely just spread the floor, eat up the clock for the rest of this game.
So the Rock won the first meeting 11-7, and will win this one
handily.
Yeah. And the shot production by Toronto on Calgary, 58 shots. And Toronto here, again, we'll just eat things up, we'll wind it down. What a night on Colin Doyle's retirement, the number being retired to the rafters at the Air Canada Centre. And a great crowd. And now the audience at the ACC on their feet. Rock dumping into the corner. 2 seconds left. And it is over. The Toronto Rock win it 16-10 over the Calgary Roughnecks. And Toronto improves to 6-4 to further their grasp on second place in the East. The Roughnecks fall to 4-7 and have to hope for a Vancouver loss to keep pace there.
Well, after 2 straight losses by the Toronto Rock and 3 times in their last 4 games, they needed a rebound effort, and they sure got it today.
They did.
They were the better team from start to finish.
Yeah.
And we can't say enough about Tom Schreiber. 4 goals, 4 assists. He continues to do what he's done all year, and he just gets better and better.
And then you have Brett Hickey with 5 goals, Kieran McArdle as well.
Yeah, McArdle got a couple goals, 3 assists, 5-point night. LeBlanc got 3 goals, but it was probably the defense and Nick Rose. What they did in the first half, they stifled Calgary. Just 1 goal that must have added to Calgary's frustration. And, in the second half, Calgary opened it up, but, their defense didn't tighten up.
Well, Shandy, this one could have gone either way early. We had the first break under 10 minutes, no score, and each club had 2 shots apiece. This was wide open. It was cautious. The defense for both sides was solid, and then the Rock just clicked and were able to pull away and never really look back.
No, and even, like the first half, this looked like it might be one of those 9-6 type games.
Yeah.
But, opening it up against the Toronto Rock proved to be fatal for Calgary. It didn't work, and, they're back to their inconsistency. We talked to their coach and says, which Calgary team is showing up? We have not, in the 2 games against Toronto Rock, we have not seen the best Calgary team.
No, we certainly haven't. And for Frankie Chiliano and Christian Del Bianco in net, I don't blame these guys. Bianco, maybe you had one that you'd want back. But for the most part, the problem is not in net for the Calgary
Roughnecks. You're not
Roughnecks.
pinning it on the goaltenders. No, there's no question. So when you're outshot 60-40 and you only score, I can't remember, it was 2 or 3 5-on-5 goals.
Yeah.
They scored about...
Well, all 3 of Curtis Dixon's goals came on the power play.
Yeah, they scored 5 or 6 power play goals, 2 or 3 shorthanded goals.
2 shorthanded, 5 on the power play of their 10.
7 of their 10 goals, so only 3 goals, 5-on-5, and that doesn't cut it.
No, and it's great you're converting on special teams. That's what you want, and the 2 shorthanded goals certainly makes them dangerous when they're shorthanded. But, 5-on-5. And Bob McMahon, who we were chatting with, assistant coach of the Roughnecks, said 5-on-5 is the grind in this league, and that's where they have to become more consistent, and we didn't see it tonight.
Yeah, some great scores on Calgary that were very quiet. Doby just got a goal. We mentioned how Digby didn't do anything till late in the game, but
right.
Scoring, contributing in the last 3 minutes of a game when you're down by 6 or 7, you can't really count that.
No, you're right. That's the Rock took their foot off the gas a little bit at the end there. But this week's standings very interesting, depending what the Georgia Swarm do when they play New England tomorrow at 1. Huge game for the Black Wolves, who are they're with Buffalo and Rochester at 4 wins. So if they can pull off an upset, wow, does that East Division get interesting?
Yeah, and we're not sure if Sean Evans is back or not with the New England Black Wolves.
Right.
That would be a good boost for them if he is back.
Certainly. So you can head over now on NLLTV.com to catch the rest of Colorado, Saskatchewan. Great one there. Battle for first place in the West. And then again tomorrow, 1 o'clock, Georgia at New England. And at 9 Eastern, Vancouver faces Colorado. Shandy, final thoughts. A great evening. Colin Doyle night. What a ceremony at the start. and it worked out for the Toronto Rock.
Yeah, it sure did. I spoke to Jamie Dock before the game, and he said must win for us, and they did what they had to do, and it's fitting they did it on Colin Doyle night. You want this night to be perfect for him, and it was.
And it certainly was. All right, folks, that'll do it. So for our producer, Sean Neferjad and Brian Shanahan, I'm Andy McNamara. Rock win at 16-10 over the Calgary Roughnecks. You've been watching the National Lacrosse League on NLL TV. Have a good night.